Helps if I take it off mute. We're off to a great start. Hello, my true crime lovelies. How are you? I hope you are well. I hope you are as lovely in life as you are in my mind. Happy Saturday, everybody. Thanks for joining all of us. I have with me Summa Cum Loudmouth. I've got
Hello.
Hello. Classified Crime, aka Classy, and Snoopy. And we have the lovely Danielle Siobhan, whose daughter is celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday to your daughter. And
Yay!
yay! If you guys can hear us,
Sweet pea.
drop a 0 in the comments.
Hi, and Sweet pea too.
Okay, so he's intentionally doing that. So malicious. So malicious. Okay, we're going to talk about who else? Sarah Boone tonight. What happened before the 911 call? Did she throw George down the stairs? Was he leaving? We're going to go through all that. We want to hear your thoughts. First up, well, let's go through. Do you guys want to go do a round of what your theories are?
Yes.
Sure. Are we going? What do you mean, the night of, or?
What did you say, Suma?
I said, are we talking about the night of the incident?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got DC in the house. Nothing on the ground yet. Oh yeah. Hope everybody's warm and cozy.
Yeah.
He's been quiet all day, I promise. Okay, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna play the 911 call first, and then we're gonna work our way backwards. Give me a second. If anybody wants to talk about what they may think may have happened the night before, feel free to jump in there.
She lured him over.
Oh, so you don't even think he was living there anymore?
Oh, yeah, right. Look at me always thinking that she's up to no good.
Yeah, you don't know her. And still, you don't know her.
It just yeah, he was living there at the time. You're right. Also, I think someone in the chat told me today that the brown sandals that were next to the suitcase were Sarah's. She was wearing them. I always thought they were George's.
Yeah, they look like George's, but George, I think, his wouldn't be so beat up and gross looking. But yeah, they were hers, I believe, and they moved throughout that video and photo slideshow she created.
Right. So was she like walking around, taking them off, getting comfortable, putting them back on? Like,
Well, I think they moved between when it was upside down, even though she didn't want it to be like that, and right side up.
I didn't want it to be like that.
I want it to be like that.
I know. Okay, 911.
Here we go.
All right.
911, what is the location of the emergency? 4748 France Court, apartment 3.
4748, what's the street name?
France, FRANTZ.
And the apartment number?
3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
Fire rescue. What's the location, Mercy?
That's 32.
No, please don't leave.
4748 France Lane, apartment 3.
France Court.
Real quick, I believe that's Brian she's yelling at, right? He's in the foyer and then he is on his way out and she yells, Don't leave.
Yeah, no, don't leave. She doesn't say Brian, but it's got to be him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
She felt like he could save her.
Yeah, and also she just doesn't like to be left alone. She doesn't care about his day.
Well, she was alone for 11 hours.
Yeah, well, then that was different.
she was cleaning up her
She
mess.
was sleeping.
Yeah, she was staring at the back of her eyelids, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Looking for jobs too.
Yeah, of course.
France Court.
Yes.
Okay, is this near Mackenzie Drive?
I don't know where that is.
Okay, fine, okay.
It's Hillwood Park Apartments.
Okay, 4748 France, correct?
Correct.
All right, correct. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in his case and we were playing. And
Okay.
like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right, okay, what's your apartment number?
3.
Apartment 3?
Yes, like he has like blood.
Okay, number one, I hate the way she says 3 on all the calls. Like she's intentionally trying to trip them up. If you want them to come expeditiously, clearly say 3, apartment 3. But also, she is like, I mean, I think she just is dumb enough to understand that he didn't die. Like people can die from suffocation because she keeps saying, "I don't know what happened." He couldn't breathe, woman. You left him in there.
Yeah,
What
she wanted them to think she didn't know what happened because she knew damn well what happened.
Yeah. What always strikes me is her sudden urgency. Like she relaxed all evening and for 11 hours, like we said. And then soon as 911 answers, she's in such a rush, like, hurry, hurry, please, hurry, hurry. But it's not a genuine rush. You know, it's like an act.
Yeah, it's everything
Yes,
is immediate,
performative. Yeah.
necessary, like a need.
Yes.
To me,
Immediate need.
she almost sounds inconvenienced and annoyed with them, like
Yes.
having to
Oh.
explain herself, having to repeat the address. You know, she's almost coming across as this is an inconvenience to me and I don't want to have to be doing it.
Court,
Yeah,
France
very much
court.
so on that one, especially on that one because something actually happened.
Right.
Right. She's bothered. Yes.
Like,
And
come
this
over
is
here and remove this.
And this is the beginning of her being upset with Brian for not helping too. Because Brian, he stayed outside the door. He's, oh no. What did Mr. J say? Check, please.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But Suma too, you're right. Like she wants to get rid of it, like George's body. She's bothered by it being there. She just wants it gone.
Right.
And by it being purple.
Yeah, that's also irritating.
Out of his mouth, and I don't know, like he had like an aneurysm or what, nothing.
Right, okay, all right, okay. Listen, we're getting help out there too. All right, okay. Okay,
now?
Okay, yeah, man, listen, we're on our way out there. You're at 407-716-8684. Okay, is he hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Okay, so he was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Okay, how old is the boyfriend, ma'am? 42-year-old male. All right.
And this is the 24th. He just turned 42 on the 13th of February, so 2 weeks before.
I don't know if I watch too many TV shows, but every time I hear someone explaining like an alibi, I instantly think they're guilty.
Yeah, she's talking way too much. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're right. I was asleep. Yeah, I would like instead of if you've ever called 911, you're so focused on the reason you're calling, like, oh, my dog is choking. Come now. It's not like, oh, I was cooking spaghetti and my dog. You don't explain so much. You're focused on the emergency.
Yeah, I was at the gym and I just drove up and walked into my house and I found my wife. Like, we don't need all that. Just tell us what's happening right now.
Thank you.
We don't know how you spent your day.
7 people saw me at the gym, in fact.
It's
Right,
wasting time.
anyone.
It's a big waste of time when your loved one is in need.
And also, I can understand if somebody with certain personalities, of course, they if you walk upon someone who's been brutally murdered, that's very upsetting. You might be shook up. But generally speaking, people remain calm and they give the fact, and then you can tell they might be a little stressed, but it's just
not irritated.
Yeah.
Right. And she
Bothered.
was more annoyed whenever they asked her a question rather than, like you said, calmly offering the information. She was just annoyed that they were asking her anything and wanted to go back to her narrative.
Almost like a
Right.
reverse script. You're like, you're interrupting my script.
Exactly. She's laying the groundwork for her story.
Yeah.
Okay, we're sending help out there. Sheriff's Officer way out there?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sorry?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen to me. Okay. I just need to confirm this one. All right. I understand. I just need to confirm this. Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No. He's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
Mm.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me. Okay.
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah. Okay.
But nothing happened. He's purple.
Okay. Listen to me. There's a defibrillator available. I need you to get it for me. Okay.
What is
You
it?
have an AED. You have an AED available?
No.
All right. Are you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay. Lay him flat on his. Okay, man.
Before we go too far, because I know this is going to come up, and then the quote unquote second form of CPR. But when could she have given him the CPR? When Brian is on his way? Because when Brian arrives, she has a lit cigarette, and it sounds like some Dr. Pepper and vodka. Because when a Detective Rodriguez shows up, that's one of the things she asked for. Her cigarette is lit out on the patio. Can she just run and get it?
Yes, she did.
She definitely needed a drink.
Yeah.
And she was actively smoking, I think, when Brian got there and said, "You've got to call 911."
Right. And then you hear them she's still on the call. We'll hear it at the end where they're like, he's been down too long, ma'am. So when did you light the cigarette? And how are you doing the CP? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Okay. Oh, okay. So do we give her any benefit? Like maybe when she found him and unzipped him, maybe she tried then? Huh?
If she did, it was just an oh shit moment. Like, what have I done? Trying to get out. If she did, it was to try to get out of trouble.
She
In my
probably
opinion.
like punched his chest or beat, like, probably like hit him and just like, or maybe when she pulled him out, it was probably evident that he was gone.
Right.
But see, like when you take CPR class, it's continuous. They give you a little leeway if you're by yourself, but the purpose is to get blood to the brain so the brain is oxygenated, right? And hopefully get some air. But even if they don't, it's not like the movies. Like you're supposed to keep going, keep going. So she did it and then went to take a cigarette break.
How could you even light a cigarette? Oh my God.
I feel like she was just saying she did it as a check off the list of things they're going to tell me to do. So I can let them know, oh, I've already done that. It didn't work. Just get here and take care of it. Clean it up.
She is a know-it-all, so she's like, "Oh yeah, I did that already. Just come. I did that already."
Yeah, like dismissive. Just get here.
Yeah, and they should take her word for it, right? Because she already did that. She knows what she's doing. He's definitely dead.
Well, I think she even said something like, Sweetie, I did that, sweetie. He's dead."
Yesterday.
Yeah, right. That she even kind of dismissed the 911 operator, a medical professional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Shout out to the chat. Noni lady says she didn't try to give CPR. Hey Tony, hey chat.
911, what is the location? France Court.
Hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No.
Awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No. He's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me. Okay.
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah. Okay.
But nothing happened. He's purple.
Okay. Listen to me. There's a defibrillator available. I need you to get it for me. Okay.
What is it?
You have an AED available?
No.
All right. Are you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay. Lay him flat on his. Okay, ma'am. Listen. So listen. Is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's not necessarily cold, but he's stiff. And
Right,
he's
okay.
purple.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Removing the pillows. Okay.
Yes, I did.
All right, okay.
He's stiff and purple.
Right, okay, listen. Okay, man, that's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him, okay? All right? Place the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Baby, I'm telling you. Just by looking at him, you can tell.
Okay. And,
Please. Okay, he just gurgled.
Oh, I hate that
okay,
part.
okay. Listen to me. All right, I want
What'd you say, Danny?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was muted. I hate that part when she screamed like that. Like he was just like gross or something. Like this wasn't the love of her like, two souls in one body. You know, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
supposed to be the love of her life, and she's saying it like he's gross, like you know, like he's something she doesn't want to touch. That just
Like
really,
she's repulsed, yeah.
oh, that bothered me.
Yeah.
And then I heard her say baby. And like, why would you say that to the 911 operator?
Because
that what
you're
she called
always
him?
drunk. Yeah.
Classy, yeah, inappropriate,
Let
very
me
Oh,
rewind it back.
inappropriate.
Okay. All right. Place the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand for me, okay?
What is
You
it?
have an AED available?
No.
All right. Are you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay. Lay him flat on his. Okay, ma'am, listen. So listen, is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's not necessarily cold, but he's stiff. And he's
Right. Okay.
purple.
All right. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Removing the pillows. Okay.
Yes, I did.
All right. Okay.
He's stiff and purple.
Right. Okay. Listen. Okay, man. That's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him. Okay. All right. Place the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Baby, I'm telling you. Just by looking at him, you can tell.
Did you hear that time, Classy? Baby, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
And the
she does that
911
with
operator.
another cop too. I think that's just, to me, that says that's somebody who's drunk all the time and who's always around people who are drunk all the time. That's how they talk.
Yes.
He took a deep breath after that too. He said,
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
he knew. I feel like he knew he knew something was off.
Yeah. He knew that his work was going to be for naught.
He couldn't, yes, because his job, you're right. His job is to save George.
Yeah.
And she's not listening to him, and she's argumentative with him.
Yeah.
So frustrating for him, I can imagine. He's like, is he cold? Is he stiff? He's trying to assess the situation, and she's irritated.
Yeah.
Yeah, her normal entitlement superiority is coming through.
Yeah.
She's almost being assertive. In my opinion, she's almost being like assertive, like asserting herself over the professional, saying, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. He's gone.
Oh, she continued that all the way into the interrogation and the courtroom.
Yes, she did.
Please. Okay, he just gurgled.
Okay. Listen to me. All right. I want you to place the heel of your hand. Okay, right between his chest, right between his breastbones.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Yes,
We want to pump his chest to me hard and fast, going at least twice per second.
I'm doing it again.
Okay, no, just keep on pumping. That's all you need to do for me. Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop and talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for me, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is nice.
Okay, ma'am, just keep on pumping his chest. That's all you need to do for me, okay?
Yes. Come on, please. Hurry up.
Okay, ma'am, they're driving here as fast as they can. Okay, don't stop to say hurry up. Just keep on pumping and counting.
I'm still doing it while I'm talking to you, okay?
Okay.
Still doing it.
All right, just continue pumping his chest. Count on us. I can count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Please hurry.
Okay, ma'am, they're getting there as fast as they can, okay?
He's stiff and he's purple.
Okay. Keep pumping his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Still doing it. Just don't make me cut.
Right, okay, that's fine. You're doing a good job. Just keep on doing it for me. That's all right. They're getting there as fast as they can, along with the sheriff's office also, okay?
Please.
Right.
Okay. Keep on pumping, ma'am. 1,
We were playing hide
2,
and seek.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on pumping for me, ma'am.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Believe me, I'm doing it, okay? We were playing
Okay.
hide and seek.
Okay. All right, I understand. All right, just keep on pumping for me, okay? Okay.
Please hurry. This
Right,
is
okay.
horrible. This is horrific. What happened? Like, what happened?
Okay, ma'am, just keep on pumping his chest for me, okay? They're in the parking lot. They should be up there shortly, okay?
I'm still doing it, okay?
All right, okay, good. And you found them in a suitcase, you said?
Yes. We were playing hide and seek last night. I fell asleep. I think they're here.
Right, just keep on pumping his chest until they take over, okay?
I am.
Okay. Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Open. Come in. Can I stop pumping now?
Let them take over for you, okay?
When was the last time anybody saw him? Last night. We were playing hide and seek. He hit another. It's okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, he's been down too long.
Oh shit. I'm sorry.
Hello, ma'am.
And so,
It's almost over, but I just want to make sure everybody heard.
What you want? What you need? You got
Unfortunately,
pee?
He's been down too long. I'm gonna
Yeah.
mute you, Danielle. Unfortunately, he's been down too long.
Yeah, like and I mean, you can't hear her reaction because my guess is she didn't have one. But if we saw her face at that moment, we'd want to kill her all over again.
And where was Brian at this point? Was he in the foyer watching, or did
No,
he just
he
go
was
He was
outside?
outside on the hood of his car.
Yeah.
Okay. In my mind, he's like calling everyone, like, "Hey, I'm free. She's gone."
Yeah.
It was over, and she's speaking in the third person as if, like, "What happened? What happened? You know
Yeah.
what happened."
Right, like how would they know if they weren't there with you, ma'am?
It's amazing.
The first thing she asked when the paramedics got there was, "Can I stop pumping?"
Mm,
Yeah. Can I
Not
stop pumping as if she ever started?
right.
mm. I can't
Not, "Do you
imagine.
think you can help him, but can I stop now?"
I
Yeah.
like when the operator said, "They're on the way, ma'am," and the sheriff's office too.
Oh, I missed that. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
gonna play
yeah.
the end of it and then we can talk. Hang on, I just want to make sure I catch it all.
we're there, obviously.
All right.
Yeah, no, he's my boyfriend. He's your boyfriend? Okay. Does he have any kind of metaphors? No. No, not that I know of.
Hello?
Hey, ma'am, the firefighter's going to take care of you now, okay? Yeah, so we'll see you there.
All righty. Oh, ma'am, is still there? Hello?
And then she goes off. Oh no, I don't know why she didn't get her cigarette then, because it took Kayla a minute to get there.
Yeah, if she already had it lit, I would think she would just resume smoking, but
Well, she was probably a little nervous because she just murdered someone.
yeah, little flighty,
Yeah.
Ooh, fractious.
fractious for sure.
Yeah. The only time she's really, I mean, she wasn't as nervous as she should have been, but she was definitely fractious. The only time she wasn't was when she was giving that allocution,
Mm.
or when she, when like some of her court hearings. I guess she just completely confident in herself.
Very and very condescending. I don't know if she realizes
Yes,
how condescending she comes
I
across.
think she does.
It's just like she's looking down on everyone around her.
Yeah, I think she does. I think it's intentional, so to speak. You know, I think she
Yeah.
feels it just makes it's all about what makes her feel better.
And no one could tell her anything in that call. As soon as someone started talking, she cut them off to say, "Oh, let me tell you." She just cut everyone off. He's stiff, he's purple, we were playing hide and seek. None of that matters.
Baby,
Yeah,
Listen,
baby.
yeah, that's
what
absurd.
what did she tell herself that evening? Because she went into the interrogation with that same confidence too, with her purse and her, her little walk and her list. She walked in with confidence too. Like, why is this
Yes, she
happening?
did.
Yeah.
What did she tell herself that night? Because she really thought she was leaving.
Is the purse the book bag? Is that little flimsy?
Or maybe like a reusable grocery bag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had a little
Minus the
tote.
reusable.
The
Yeah,
tote, yeah, right, exactly.
like a Trader Joe's type of bag.
Yeah.
I love a Trader Joe's bag.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. She had flip-flops on in the interrogation too, but they were not those brown ones.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask.
They were a lot
I
smaller.
think those may have been shared flip flops too, or her feet may be super nasty. I don't know, but they have like long dirt streaks in them. I think like
Yeah.
maybe George originally owned them, and then Sarah,
Mhm.
took them, or maybe she gifted them to him, and of course
Mhm.
they're still hers.
Oh,
Right.
I just
absolutely.
because in different body cam footage, she has on those flip flops.
Ugh.
Okay, I can
Oh,
see, and it's not hard to like wear your man's shoes real quick, so I can see that. Okay. Oh, that's terrible.
why she was putting them on in the house to walk around doesn't make sense when she
I
didn't know them
agree,
as
because they're not
leaving.
house shoes, right? Because they're outside, so it's not like in
Right.
our house we take our shoes off and then we put on house shoes or house socks. I don't
Yeah.
know if everybody does that, but usually you don't just walk around. Her carpet was trashed, so maybe they did. But your
Yeah.
outside shoes you don't track them across,
Right.
Especially with little ones. Yeah. Sh- Sarah wasn't the cleanest person. Just judging from the
No.
carpet alone. Just judging from the carpet alone. And the pink shorts. And the pink shorts.
Mm.
So I want to show this to you guys really fast, because this is her call log leading up to. So we're on 12/24. Brian starts calling her at 11. Oh no, that's the night before. That's her call. Anyway, let's get to this. That's her call to him at 11:46 that he deleted. But the day of 2/24, he starts calling her at 10:06 to
Mhm.
ask if she's gonna be okay to pick up their son. She doesn't answer, right? Not answered. He calls again at 11:25, not answered. Then hang on, honey. 11:25:58, not answered. And then 12:21, not answered.
Mm.
12:22, not answered. And then she calls him back at 12:37. He doesn't answer. He calls at 12:49 and she answers, right? It's an incoming call. She's answered it. And then she calls him back 12:54. Like, where are you? Are you coming? That's what he testified to. Like, he had to put the dog away, had to tidy up some stuff, and he was on his way. He told her again to call 911. She doesn't call till 12:59:26 when he's arrived. She wasn't pressed.
Not at all. And Brian said that too, in his interview, that she called him and he came over and she wasn't like trying to get 911 involved.
Right. So what's the theory there? Did she want him to throw the suitcase in the water? What was the plan?
He had time to put the dogs away and then travel to her. If it was so urgent for George, she should have called.
And what never made sense to me, she always called 911 and then she's like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't, like, girl, that's your go-to is 911.
And Brian had to tell her to do it because she wanted Brian to come up with the plan. How are we going to deal with this? How are we going to handle it? She wanted him to come up with the plan, so they were in it together.
And he wanted no part of it. Thank God. He was thinking out for himself and their son, right?
Yeah, I think he was used to dealing with her drunken nonsense, but he drew the line at no, we could both go to jail.
Sidebar. I'm so sorry. Suma's backstage and she's knocking on the door to get back in.
I don't see her down here. I was just going to say that. I don't see her. She might be in a different. Oh my God. I don't know what he's doing. Mommy. Will you ask her to go out and come back in? It's not showing. For some reason, I've got myself down here 3 times. Let me exit one.
Another thing about her urgency with the call, and you showing that call timeline, when the first officer, Rodriguez, was just kind of asking her what happened, she said, when did you try CPR? When did you call 911? She's like, this morning. And she says, it's 1:30 right now.
And then Sarah's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here.
I was asleep.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Don't worry. Yeah, when did you start 911? I mean, when did you start CPR? Yeah, it was like she didn't even realize how late it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's very inconvenienced.
So I'm thinking that if she threw him down the stairs, in those pictures, there's all that stuff down at the stairs. When did she clean that up?
Probably that morning, I would imagine.
While she was waiting for Brian to come over, because she wasn't doing CPR.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I kind of figure that it's very hard to say with her because she's so strange, but maybe one of the reasons why she really leaned into the fact that she doesn't always answer the phone because she could be busy is because she was, during that time, I guess as he called once, she kind of woke up. She probably was like, where the F is George? Went looking for him because he can't have a minute alone, and realized what had happened. Then he probably called her a few times, and I think she actually called him eventually, but she was probably ignoring those calls because she was frantically cleaning. That's just my guess.
Oh, I like that, because all this time I was thinking, well, was she asleep? That's why, but yeah, that makes sense too.
I mean, I don't think she knocked herself out on the cleaning, but I'm sure she put a few things where she thought they should be.
Yeah. Especially that bookshelf at the end of the stairs, because James was sure to focus on that during trial. He's like, oh, if something came down the stairs, did you see the apartment was intact? Like, he was sure to mention that there was no mess. Like, he and Sarah may have discussed that or something.
Right, but like she couldn't have cleaned it up. Do you know what I mean? Like she had 12 hours.
Yeah, she had plenty of time to clean up.
And then she was definitely up in my mind. She was definitely up. Yes.
Well, she didn't look like she brushed her teeth. She damn sure didn't put on a bra. So she was up doing something.
Everyone, myself included, is so upset about that no bra thing.
Oh my God. And her over the bushes getting water. It was awful. Like, ma'am, get yourself
That was
together.
amazing. The things that the way she behaved around just those bushes alone, like when
Right.
she tells him to look for the birth certificate.
The birth certificate, it's here.
Yeah.
Like it's
Feel
gonna
free.
levitate up and put itself back together.
Like,
oh my
here,
God.
have at it.
The thing with the cleaning, the whole cleaning story that they were doing for a sense of what was it, satisfaction, productivity, accomplishment. Thank you. If you're cleaning, why is the suitcase in her story downstairs? Like, if you're cleaning, wouldn't you put that away, or you'd put the stuff in it?
No,
like, how
he
is that
took it upon himself to bring it downstairs. Remember?
Oh, you know what? I take it back.
And she
Sarah's
didn't yell
apartment
at
was
him?
clean.
Wait,
No,
say it again?
right? Yeah, no, of course not, because that's not her style. She was just probably. I mean, her story is he took it upon himself to bring it downstairs because they were going to fill it with all of her child's clothing that she's sick of looking at.
Because he can't fit them anymore, and
Because
they're too small.
Right. That's what she's got to get rid of.
Which means that he wasn't over there a lot.
Right, because how do you accumulate exactly?
Well, she accumulated a whole menagerie of pets that I'm sure she ultimately starved to death. But I mean, he had all those. But I think that and none of it is true anyway.
I didn't know there were mice there until last night. I was watching Dan D's live. I had no idea there were also mice there who probably were hungry on a regular basis.
There was a lizard or something too, and maybe someone here knows. And some kind of insect farm or something.
Oh.
Oncologist. What was it? Anthropologist. What was she going to be? A study of bugs?
Oh, yeah. Etymology, is that what it is?
I don't know. Ornithology is a study of birds. She wanted that too. I don't remember.
Someone in the chat help us out. What was study of bugs? I liked when she said that. Study of bugs.
Maybe entomology. I mean, we hear it in some of the trials where there's like that person who comes and says, "Oh, this bug was in their throat." They can
find out because of the larvae of the whatever that was stuck to his it's a gas tank. I don't know.
Buffalo. Yes, it's entomology. You're right, Tanika.
Okay. There's so many of them.
No, it's etymology. Etymology, I believe.
Okay.
Whatever. Well, we're getting both here, so
I know for sure ornithology is the bird.
It starts with an E.
Yeah.
Study of birds. Study of bugs.
So someone is asking, was he still in the suitcase when Brian showed up? I don't think so, because when we see in the trial, you see his legs out in that one shot. Like in all the body cam footage they sent out to the public, it's blurred, but it wasn't blurred at trial. And so I don't think he was in the suitcase and then she pulled it out in front of Brian. I don't think that
Doesn't he say at one point that he walked in, saw legs, and turned around?
I think so.
Yeah.
So if you watch the trial during the, I believe, third day, when Mr. J is showing the body cam montage, you can see when Detective Rodriguez walks in, you can see George's entire body laying on the floor. Yeah. It's not blurred. You can see his entire body, black shirt, shorts, and he's just laying
those camo pants. Yeah.
Yes. And it looks as if she took him out during the trial. So you can't, it's not like directly showing to us, but you can see it on the screen very clearly, very clearly.
I also saw a shot of his mouth. He had a lot of lower teeth missing. It wasn't just a couple. I think she might have been knocking him upside the head in those. Like, I don't think those are all just like these incidental teeth falling out that she was saying.
Yeah. Could have been a bat.
Yeah. Like on a regular basis.
Also, are we talking about autopsy tonight? Because his hands, speaking of the autopsy and injuries, I think more than just 2 fingers got out. It was like maybe even up to his forearm got out, and she was beating it. A lot of his arm got out to me, not just like 2 little fingers. I think a lot of his hand got out, and she beat it back in and zipped it back up.
Yes. We are going to go over the autopsy, so I want to give everybody a warning. I've put some like normal photos in of George so we remember him as a human being, but it is a little bit graphic. So if you want to step out and come back, or if you need to bow out, we understand. Okay, I'm gonna read. We'll see how far Sugar Bear lets me get here. Let me make this. So, and we will look at the toxicology report too on that. So he's a 42-year-old man, race is white, male. Date of death, he was found on February 24th, but I think we all think he died the night before, like before midnight, but they put on his, like, the time they called death was the 24th. So they did the autopsy the next day, the day of Sarah's arrest, February 25th at 9 a.m. Of course, she didn't get arrested till in the evening, but I'm just saying. So, final anatomic diagnosis: positional asphyxiation with environmental suffocation. So, the positional is, we know he was folded up, right, in this little tiny space. Environmental suffocation, he was entombed in a suitcase, and so there's not adequate air supply, right? So he's suffocated. He died of both of those things, which this annoyed me when James Owens was like, well, we need a book of particulars. Which one did he die from? Dear, he died from both.
Yeah.
So 42-year-old man with enclosed suitcase, prolonged confinement, blunt impact injuries to torso, cutaneous contusion. So cutaneous is more surface. It's not intramuscular. As an IVF person, I know, because I had to give myself cutaneous shots. It's just like right below the skin.
Yeah.
And then he also had deep muscle contusion. So that is, go ahead.
That's, we probably all looked that up, but that's blunt force trauma. That's like deep injured.
Right. And all to his torso. So I don't think that could have happened while he was in the suitcase because of the enclosure.
Yeah, I think a lot of those things did happen in the suitcase, but I think the worst, probably, the most dramatic injuries were what she did to him before the suitcase.
That's a good point. Now, there could, inside the suitcase, if he was falling down the stairs inside of the suitcase, some of it could have happened from him falling down the stairs and his body hitting the suitcase and the whatever's outside of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's force as he's, Yeah. So cutaneous abrasion. So for an abrasion, cutaneous is rather deep, right? Because you're going entirely through the first layer of the skin. Periorbital edema and ecchymosis in his left eye. So all edema is swelling. So the left eye was swollen, and I put together some graphics that are not him, but just to give an example. No, you can have a ginger ale. And then galeal and subgaleal hemorrhage. Classified crime. I'm going to turn that over to you.
That was the most concerning thing to me, because when I Googled it, it most commonly is something that occurs with a difficult delivery in an infant, from them having to use like vacuum suction. But in adults, it said that it could be from trauma, like a fall or an accident, or from someone severely pulling hair. Because it's when it's also a potentially life-threatening condition when the blood is collecting between the scalp and the loose tissue, so it's creating pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she was like, I don't know what happened. Like, what of the million things I did to him last night made him end up like this?
Yeah. Other than this, what do y'all think the cause of death was?
Other than
and also, she asked him, she's like, so it couldn't have just been the suitcase?
Or he had an aneurysm? That was out of nowhere.
Like, did
what
the suitcase maybe attack him?
happened?
Yeah. What happened? This is horrific.
Horrific.
She may not have remembered everything that she did.
I'm sure she didn't, but I mean, I'm sure she remembered enough.
And it didn't help her later that she was like, I don't have any bruises. None of us put hands. Not
Why did
one
she
of us.
think that was such a flex? I think because in her mind, she really didn't know that people know, or that it happens, that women can also be abusive to men, even though she was arrested once already for that.
And did she have that much of a boring life that she didn't even look at her phone when she woke up? Like, she didn't even see what she did? She didn't.
We saw how much she looked at her phone when she was alone. she was constantly on that phone, harassing everyone she could.
Right.
Right. So after something serious like that, the next day, like you don't pick up your phone and I don't know.
No,
How could she miss the video is what I'm saying. How could
Yeah.
she miss that?
no.
Right.
Oh
But
yeah,
even-
plus, I don't think she ever looked at her videos.
Yeah. I think she was the one who didn't remember stuff, which is why she took videos, but she claimed she had to take them because he never remembered. I think it was all gaslighting because none of them
Yeah.
made her look good. So I can't
No.
see how George would look at that and be like, oh, babe, I'm sorry.
She remembered them in her drunk mind. When she took them, she thought it showed him being, but I don't think she ever revisited them really. Or she did, and they still look that way to her.
I definitely don't think she remembered them being there because they caught her off guard in the interrogation when they showed them to her.
Yeah. But do you think it came back to her when she was like, do I have to look at this? Like, was it coming back to her like, oh, I did something bad?
Yeah.
I think so, and she was probably terrified.
Yeah. Your battery's dying.
I know, she was so matter of fact. You said it so convincingly. I was like, how can you see my battery? Then I
My
was like,
battery's
I know Chelsea was so upset about that. Like,
yeah, and she also, in a way, it was kind of good because it gave a little time to watch her, like, you know. But she also, I don't think she ever looked at her phone, right? Like even before the trial, I don't think she could ever stomach looking at any of that. And that, of course, did not help her because she never looked at them again. I just don't think she did. I think the Cashman and all of the other ones told her, you know, these videos don't make you look good. And that's all she had to hear to not want any part of them. Like, didn't want to watch them again, you know, right? Or no? I mean,
that makes sense. That makes sense. I do have to say, I was listening to, I can't remember who, but anyway, part of the reason why she wanted her physical phone was to get her 401k money. I don't know if I ever said that because Lana was trying to help her get the $5,000, but it needed to be verified by phone. You know how they send you like the authentication. So, but they were never going to let her turn her phone on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that also, I mean, she may have thought there were videos on there that were exculpatory for her. I doubt it, but yeah, she also was trying to get into her bank account, get someone to get access to it.
Well, she had it for 30 years, so.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Tevi. 30 years she had that thing.
Oh my God. So the autopsy is just saying that it was performed. This is the legal stuff pursuant to Florida statute. So identification, the body of George, in this picture I took from the court, from the trial, but I did cover up this part of his face intentionally, or this where his face is, you know. Okay. The body of George.
One of the dogs by him?
Ooh. Down here, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes. And Detective Rodriguez told her about that too. She's like, secure those dogs.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It just goes to
They
show
were
you
probably
who
trying to
those
comfort
dogs
him.
cared about.
Yeah.
Because also in one of the videos, one of the body cams where they go in, where she's like, oh yeah, I thought you looked familiar. Where he's like, yeah, we picked you up one day at the bar. She's like, no, we weren't, you know, whatever. Those dogs are, yeah, they're around, but they're mostly by George. And when she comes to the door, they never come with her. They're never around her.
But she claims they follow her everywhere.
Yeah,
and then there's something in her soul.
In the parking lot, they're never there. You never see those damn dogs.
Right.
They're inside with George because that's where it's safe. So sad, that picture. I mean, it would be sad without the dog, but with the dog, it's
even more heartbreaking. Yeah. Because the dog is probably like, wake up, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Using the decedent's, oh my God. He's identified by Orange County Sheriff's Office Corporal Taylor using the decedent's Florida identification card. The identification is made on February 24th at the scene. Clothing and valuables. At the time of examination, the body is dressed in a black short sleeve t-shirt, camouflage cargo shorts, worn with a black leather belt and undershorts. I'm sorry, you're thin if you're wearing a belt on your camo shorts. It's like it's specifically just to hold them up, not a fashion statement, in my opinion.
Right.
The remaining personal effects are inventoried and personally verified. And he had these shorts on in a couple of the body cam footage. as well. That must be like their house clothing, the camo shorts and the pink shorts. General statement: the body is that of a well-developed and nourished adult man. I disagree, but okay. I don't know what their definition is. Compatible with the above stated age. At the time of the exam, the body measures 62 inches in length and weighs 103 pounds. Body mass index, so his BMI is 19. That's low, right?
Very.
Yeah.
The body is ambient temperature. Rigor mortis has receded. So it's happened and it's come back. That's always confused me, but it's at this point, I think, well, when she sees him, it's the next day when this person is examining. But yeah, I feel like rigor had to be gone by the time he got out of the suitcase. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to lay like this.
Mhm. Right.
So it's receded. The livor mortis is fixed posterior and rises to the level of the posterior axillary lines. So that's the blood, right? Isn't it? The livor mortis is
Right.
so it's
Where it
fixed and it's
pools.
at the bottom and it's pooled because, but wouldn't it be on one side or did it reposition when he moved? I'm sorry to be morbid. Because I always thought it was like how you were resting, which is where it landed.
Right. It's gravity pulling all the blood to the lowest place. So if she moved him, it can change.
Okay. Fixed lividity also involves the left side of the torso and the left upper extremity in the lateral aspect. So that is he must have been laying on his left side in the suitcase. The
Yeah.
body is neither decomposed nor embalmed. So this is not George. This is just a sample photo.
Yeah.
The scalp hair is black, straight, has a normal hairline, and measures an estimated 3 centimeters in maximal length. Facial hair consists of a black mustache and a black beard, which is confined to the chin. The irides, hopefully I'm saying that right, are brown. The pupils have equal diameters. So that's his iris. He has brown eyes. People have equal diameters. The cornea are slightly clouded and have horizontal bands of darkening, tac noir. So this is here. And from what I read, it's probably his eyes were probably partially open, and that's the part that was exposed. Again, this is not him. This is just an example of what that looks like.
I also had a thought when the part right before where they talk about how, or it talks about how he was a, like, like properly
Well developed and
Christian,
nourished.
well developed. Yeah, I thought, his mother and father raised him and fed him, and he was a perfectly healthy man. Sarah knew him for 3 years and did all that damage to him. It's so
Right.
heartbreaking. Like if I read that as his mother, I think that would be the most disturbing part,
Right. Well, and I also wonder if she controlled the food because in Juan's interview, he says that George would be like, "Babe, we gotta eat. We gotta eat."
Yes.
Mm.
George was a caretaker, I think it seems,
Yeah.
And I don't think that Sarah could have kept her own son alive like his mother kept him alive, or as a child, like raised him healthy enough to be. I don't see Sarah being that good a mother. If she had to raise her son alone, I don't think.
Oh,
No.
he'd be in bad shape.
Yeah.
And not only did she ruin George within that time, she ruined herself. I always note that she was only in the world for how many years? 2 maybe after her former husband, that she couldn't even make it alone.
Right. Well, she moved in with George. They got the townhome in January of 2018. Her divorce wasn't final until June. He filed November, and she moved in with George in January.
Yeah. Pretty
So she's
quickly.
never had a place on her own.
No. They can't be alone without a peep. She cannot be alone. That's why she wanted to be put in the big bay.
Oh my God. That still pisses me off when she was like, "I'm claustrophobic." B, you just left a man in a suitcase all night.
You have no
Yeah, and there was a time in court when she mentioned not wanting when she wanted special accommodations for being pro se. And they
Yes.
said they could give her her own little cell. She could work undisturbed. And she's like, oh, no, I need to be able to go outside and get fresh air. And that really pissed me off, too.
Yeah, Captain DiGiovanni. She was like, "Isn't that the secure whatever?" And she's like, "It's been converted. Like you'll be able to go outside." And she was like, "No, I have some comfort from friends, or I have friends that's a bit of." She's so weird.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I do have some comforts there.
It's like, oh my god.
that's
Maybe
really
prepare for your trial and worry about comfort later.
Yeah, I know I've been complaining nonstop about the fact that I don't have the space or privacy to do all of the work I have to do. But now that you've offered me an option for that, no thanks.
Exactly.
Right. Of all my complaints, you're addressing one, but I don't like that.
Nope.
The conjunctivi are congested. So think of like pink eye, which is conjunctivitis. Obviously, he didn't have pink eye, but it's that same area and it's congested, not clear. Like, I don't know what that is, eye boogers, but it's something, they're out there. It's not clear. The sclerae are white and have focal hemorrhage in the superior aspects. The left sclera has lateral hemorrhage. I don't know, classified crime. Do you want to add anything to that?
I did read that the eyes were very swollen and puffy underneath as well. In the first list, and it could be from trauma or a fracture from blunt force trauma, the swelling that he had. So
I imagine it too, like from the change in oxygen. I don't know if anybody has ever gone deep sea fishing. I'm a country girl. Like their eyes actually pop out, but it's like that large bulge from the pressure change and the air change.
yes.
Like because he's not being strangled, but he's still being suffocated.
Yeah,
do you know?
that petechiae. I don't know if that's mentioned in this.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think there is petechiae hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
External nares contain a small amount of mucus mixed with bloody fluid. Nasal skeleton is palpably intact, so his nose was not broken.
Yeah.
Lips have recent injuries as described below. Oral cavity has natural dentition in a fair to poor state of repair. He had a lot of teeth missing, but natural they were his.
Fair to poor.
Yeah, not on the good side. So not only were there missing, he probably wasn't like a teeth freak like I am. So he probably wasn't going like every quarter,
Right. I mean, most people in this country, or well, certainly in other countries, but don't, they can't afford it. For some reason, they don't want to,
People get afraid of the dentist. They have like bad experiences.
Yeah.
Like, I'm only going to go when I have to. Yeah.
But, and I'm sure he didn't go to the dentist, but that's why I was surprised that they weren't worse.
Right. The oral mucosa has intact frenula and has no petechial hemorrhages in the oral vestibule. It is lined with blood-streaked mucus. The external auditory canal, so his ears, are free of foreign material. Neck is symmetrical and has no palpable masses. The thorax is well developed and symmetrical. Abdomen is scaphoid and soft and has no palpable masses. So nothing is wrong with him basically in the abdomen area. The external genitalia are those of a normally developed adult circumcised man with no injuries, thank God. The testes are descended into the scrotal sac and are palpably unremarkable.
I always find it so insulting when I read these things and they call everything unremarkable.
Right. I mean, I think in this case you want it to be. They're not going to be like, well, he's hung like a horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to give the kind of. Not that I want them anyway in this setting.
Right. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
It's like nothing impressive to see here. Totally unremarkable.
Yeah. Well, we know Sarah was there for a reason, for a good time.
That's right.
Oh my God, I know too much. One of the ocular signs of death in which a reddish-brown discoloration is transversely arranged across the sclera. So that's the tachy-noir is this. Lower extremities are symmetrical and have no anatomic abnormalities. Arms, forearms, wrists, and hands have no anatomic abnormalities. Fingernails are intact bilaterally. back is unremarkable except as indicated. He has those scratches at the upper. So scars and tattoos. Lateral aspect of the right arm has a gray tone tattoo of a character face. The dorsal aspect of the right arm has gray tone tattoos of letters arranged in a vertical fashion. The lateral aspect of the right leg has a gray tone tattoo of indeterminate design. Right side of the neck, that's the only one that I could find, has a gray tone tattoo of multiple letters. The posterior aspect of the right leg has a gray tone tattoo of a female figure. The body has no apparent remote surgical scars. So blunt impact injuries, the lateral aspect of the left upper eyelid has dark purple blue ecchymosis. So it's swollen. And there's blood that's pooling. And is associated with a small amount of subcutaneous edema. So edema is swelling. The mucosal surface of the lower lip has a few contusions and lacerations. Which, how do you get that in the mouth? Like, that's so violent to hit someone in their mouth. The left temporal parietal region of the scalp has glial and subglial hemorrhage, estimated at less than 20 cc. So there is swelling and blood trapped in between where his skull is and his skin is. Like, in there, you would touch it and you would feel like it's leaking from there. Right side of the face near the corner of the mouth has a crescent-shaped red-purple abrasion. Right side of the neck in the supraclavicular region, so the neck by the clavicle bone over here. I tried to has a crescent-shaped red-purple abrasion. The right side of the neck, I had said that. A region has a few scattered red-brown linear abrasions. So I feel like she possibly hit him in the mouth with the bat. It just seems really, I mean, she could have done it with her fist. It just seems like super violent, knowing how sensitive the mouth is. And it also seems like a intentional sign of disrespect to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if she slapped him in the mouth and he bit, if he bit down, he could have cut the inside of his mouth with his teeth when she was hitting him.
Right.
The
So
eye,
here's like
to me, I think, was hit by the bat, or when he went down the stairs, hit really hard on something.
Yeah. His face would have been toward the interior of the suitcase, though.
That's true. So it had to have been before with the bat.
And can we touch on the crescent marks? Is that the bat? I believe that would be the marks from the bat.
Maybe. Like the end of the bat?
We discussed that today in my chat. Like when we were the crescent marks, that has to be like half of the like the bat.
Yeah.
She did say she poked him, but if it was just half of it, that's like sounds to me like she was hitting. So one side of the corner of the bat was hitting him, and it left like a crescent mark.
Right. Oh.
That's a good point.
So that was outside the suitcase too, because all of this, how would she get to that from out while he was in the suitcase? You know what I mean?
Right. And like Green Man said that his arms are better because those were defensive wounds, like he was trying to protect himself.
Yeah. Right. And she had no marks on her, so he wasn't fighting her back. He was protecting himself. Mid upper back has a series
no marks on her. Think about that.
Right. And all this to him.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to be the victim.
Right.
Yeah.
She claims there was a plug of her hair missing, but we never saw a photo, and she sure didn't mention it on scene.
Yeah, no, and also, how could you tell with that hair? Come on.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure there was plenty of tufts of her hair lying around just cause.
There probably was. Yeah. Mid upper back has a series of obliquely oriented linear abrasions. Those are the ones where she said it was her nails from sex when she was in the interrogation. Each with a width of 0.3 centimeter and lengths of 7, 12, 15, and 6. So I tried to do that here. Obviously, I'm not an artist. and extending medially in a series of punctate purple-blue contusions. Above described contusions involve the underlying adipose tissue and skeletal muscle and are associated with intramuscular edema. So that is down deep. That's what I would say. I mean, you can reach it. It's a longer needle if you're doing injections, but it's deep relative to the subcutaneous. The sacral area of the back. So for those of us who do yoga, you're very familiar. It's here at the posterior midline, has an 8 by 6 centimeter zone of red purple ecchymosis. So that's what I tried to do here.
Do you know how inside of a suitcase where the extended handle comes up where you can carry it?
Mm-hmm.
It has those 2 bars that go down on the inside that
Right.
it could have been laying against.
Yeah.
To make some of those on the back.
Because that's what Mr. J hit during the trial. He banged on that. Those, yep. Damn.
So that structure there was probably pressing into his back of where the handle would have been.
Right. And he's like moving around like a little bit side to side. I'm sure as he's going down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
It's not like he has a seatbelt on, you know?
Right.
So what is ecchymosis versus bruise? Oh, it's ecchymosis, sorry. Is the medical term for a bruise. A bruise or contusion is skin discoloration from damaged, leaking blood vessels underneath your skin. Even though there's blood pooling underneath your skin, you won't have any external bleeding unless your skin breaks open. The dorsum of the left hand has, I don't think I marked anything else up here. I think it was a little overwhelming for me, but the dorsal of the left hand has blue-purple ecchymosis overlying the metacarpals and second digit. So is that, which one is second digit? The one next to the pointer finger? I don't know. Dorsal aspect of the right hand has faint red purple ecchymosis overlying the metatarsal area and near the base of the thumb. Posterior aspect of the right arm near the elbow joint has a 4.5 by 4 centimeter compressed dry red abrasion. So maybe like a drag mark for the dry compressed. The lateral aspect of the left arm has 2 vertically oriented red-brown linear abrasions measuring 3 centimeters and 8 centimeters in length, medial to lateral respectively. Can we go to comments for a second? I just need to take a second here.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
Green Man just had a comment. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
Just made a comment that actually I took a picture of it because I didn't want to lose it. That she starts on his head. He ends up on the floor, curled up, protecting his head. She hits his back over and over. And that makes sense to me.
Say it again.
She starts with his head. He falls to the floor. He's protecting his head, so she just keeps hitting his back over and over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not even like pushing her to get her off. He's just simply protecting himself.
Yeah, he's just trying to protect his head, which is also probably why his arms were, you know.
Right.
Lotus Spider says he or she wonders if she was hiding in the shower with the bat waiting for George to come in.
Oh my God. I was in the shower too.
Yeah. So I was there for a pretty long time. I finally got sick of waiting. Oh, thank you, Bossy Tuba.
Hi, Carolina.
Hello, Mommy.
You're not Carolina.
Carolina. Shout out to everybody in the chat.
Yeah. Also, I just don't. You got drunk and killed your boyfriend.
Neva NYX says George may have just been defeated because every time he fights back, she calls police.
What?
Right. I think other factors in that too. So you guys, I don't know if I said that this is going to be a 2-part because we want to go over some interviews. Like we're trying to rebuild the before part, but I think the stakes were different at this point. Like again, I said at the top, I think he was leaving. If he were, he doesn't have a job. He hasn't had a job in 2 weeks. It's the 23rd. Rent is going to be due at the end of the week because it's February, right? So it's Saturday or Sunday, the good time, Sunday fun day. And then so there's all these different dynamics going on, but he's not working. Presumably in Florida, like everyone else, like unemployment doesn't give you a full check; it gives you part of your check. But he's not tied to her now. If she is taking his social security or driver's license or birth certificate, it's really of no consequence because he can go to his parents' home, right? She always tries to put him down for being, oh, you're with your parents. For a woman who's never had a place of her own, she's saying that. But really, I think leaving for him is different now. And we know in his suitcase, he had I can't remember what the name of the vial was, but it's to help with not drinking, right?
Yeah. Starts with a D, I think. Or, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it.
It was diazepam, which is
Thank you.
generic Valium.
Thank you.
Okay.
Was it a pill or an injection?
I think it was an injection.
It was in a syringe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the commander.
That's strange
Yeah.
to be given outpatient because it's more quickly received.
Absorbed, yeah.
Yeah.
But clearly he had been drinking that day. So, but he was, he was on a path. At least he was seeing someone. We know Sarah never saw anyone
They
for
did
help.
find like a tiny amount of opiates in his blood, which might not be that, but I mean, I wouldn't know, but I thought maybe that's, he obviously taken that at some point. So,
right. I can skip
the
down.
diazepam would have been a benzo.
Benzo, right.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all fancy. I did not know.
On the toxicology. So the benzodiazepines, he was negative. That would have been the diazepam there.
Right.
Okay, so let's look at this. And then if we're going to go back, if somebody else wants to read the autopsy, that would help me out a lot. It's just a little more than I thought it was going to be. Can you guys see this? So here's what his tox screen
I also
was.
do think we hit the most important parts of the autopsy.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but from what I remember,
Yeah, so maybe we don't have to go back. Chat, if you guys want to hear more of it, we'll figure out how to do that. Let us know. So what he had to, yeah. It's it's making me mad at her and sadder for him. He had caffeine, nicotine, like nobody deserved to die like that. I mean, he didn't deserve it at all, but like this just seems extra cruel.
Yeah,
I think really was.
As much as we know about her and have seen of her and are horrified, I still don't think we will ever really understand the breadth and depth of her cruelty. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, she was pissed. You don't just randomly do that. Like she had so much rage that she was taking out on him.
But it takes nothing. I mean, we see how she talks to her own son.
Right. I
mean, her words are vicious. They're cruel. And for no reason, really.
Right. Like, does she feel good after that? It's like, it's so opposite of anything I know.
Yeah. I mean, just.
And in the video she took of herself saying to him, this is for everything you've done to me.
Yeah.
So you deserve this, basically.
Right. And it's the coup de grace, right? It's after the beating, after everything else that's going on, the day of beratement. I don't think they were out there playing darts.
And then this is never did any of those things.
Right. Put together 1,000-piece puzzle and they got 999 pieces and they were 3 sheets to the wind.
They didn't put together no 1,000.
I can't even look at it.
She continued to disrespect him even after sentencing. Like, oh, am I supposed to be like, oh, wah, poor George? She's never ever, to me, felt sorry. Not like a glimpse of sorriness for him.
Nope.
Right. And I think that extra pisses me off about her journals too, because you have made that family suffer so much and like you're still continuing to make them suffer.
I mean, can't read. I just can't. I mean, I haven't read. I read the first entry or whatever, and I was like, this is trash.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do his talks. Caffeine, nicotine metabolite, and caffeine and caffeine metabolite were in his peripheral blood draw. I don't know if these are negligible or not, but amphetamines, he had 0.100, and the measurement is the milligram over liter. Barbiturates, 0.100.
Where's
Benzos,
the benzos? I see.
0.05. So classified crime,
Really?
you're saying this is the injectable?
Diazepam, yeah.
Okay.
But
This
those
is,
are the cutoff reporting limit over in that column.
oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, I see. It's
Yeah,
just
because you
negative.
see where it says negative or none detected.
I see it.
He didn't
Oh,
have
this is
any of
the,
that.
okay.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, amphetamine, even if you had a prescription for Adderall, that would come up positive.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Adderall, Vyvanse, Ritalin, anything like that would be an amphetamine.
Yeah.
Barbiturates, those are less common. The benzos are anything like Xanax, Valium, Ativan, any of that.
Ativan, yeah.
The buprenorphine is something a lot of people take to get off of opioids. But it can be used to get high, but it's supposed to help you wean off of opioids. And then we know what cannabis is, and cocaine and fentanyl. And then any opioids would be your Oxy or Percocets, things like that. But he was negative for all of that. The blood alcohol.
Where? Yeah, that was, I was looking for that. It's the ethanol, right? Yeah.
So that was a little high.
Well, this one is 0.21. That's like what, almost 3 times the legal limit for driving.
I believe, yeah.
If we're going at 0.08.
Yeah. 0.24 would be 3 times. So yeah, pretty close.
Okay, so like 2 and some change. But
Yeah.
he was, but I feel like even in the, and obviously I'm not an expert on alcoholism, but even in when he's in the suitcase begging for his life, he sounds more soberer than Sarah.
He does.
Because she's slurring and like I can clearly make out what he's saying. And his brother said, he didn't sound as drunk as usual. He was like, I can tell, because he gets real emotional.
Yeah.
The only muffling was from him being inside of the suitcase, not
I think so, yeah.
Sound drunk.
He wasn't
I mean,
like
I don't
wriggle
like,
around some.
get that drunk
Oh,
because she's such a buzzkill. At that point,
And he has to probably keep his wits about him, like all
yeah,
jokes
he's the
aside,
one who has to keep his compass mentis, and that didn't help him either.
In my opinion, just from things Sarah has said, and then when James Owens in the trial said that he was raised, you never hit a woman no matter what.
Yeah.
I feel like she had that protective bubble in her mind that it doesn't matter what I do, you can't hit me back.
I agree.
And the moment he would fight back, then she'd be like, okay, I got you now.
Yeah.
Now you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
She grew up with 2 brothers. She's in the middle of 2 brothers. So that makes sense that she would weaponize that as a child.
Right.
She's the only girl, so they can't hit her, because kids wrestle. Kids
and I'm sure they wanted to and did plenty.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And she probably deserved it. I'm not saying, I'm not advocating violence.
Yeah,
but
this is child.
You have siblings,
That's different.
You get into fights.
That's when you get those beatings in, when you can.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I used to fight. My brother was 5 years younger than me, one of them. And I would fight with him. And then one day he kicked my butt. I didn't let him know he kicked my butt, but I was like, oh, he's strong now. I was like, okay. But yeah, you don't mess around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have siblings. So the first time I saw siblings like go at it, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, It was
gets ugly.
Yeah, it's like vicious. I mean, there's like no holds barred. Like it's like cage fighting.
It just builds up when you live with someone and they're always getting on your nerves.
It's like 1 minute we're all watching a movie, and the next minute someone's climbing over the couch to get to the other one, and then afterwards it's like back to business as usual.
Yeah, all out brawl and then normal.
Right, but that thing Sarah said about also I was taught, I didn't know. I was taught that a man should never hit a woman, and I was thinking, well, then you did know.
Right.
So
you had an intention
that argument
about
makes no sense.
She felt like he could do whatever, and he wouldn't do anything back. And I felt like she felt in a safe space as a woman to And even Brian said she gets her claws out, but she's tiny. You know, he justified it as it's not really hurting me.
Right, and he's not the
It's
type
still
to make it.
abuse.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
and he was a lot bigger than her, so
Right.
Right.
And it may not have hurt him when
it was a
she would
different
come at him,
dynamic.
but she's still it's still assault.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And he
Keep
knew
your
it.
hands
He
to
knew. He
yourself.
said, "For all I know, she's the aggressor."
Right.
Yeah.
He said that.
He said a lot of things that were very useful. right
Yeah,
off
he
the bat.
did. And Owens knew he needed to attack that, right? But he said it on scene. It wasn't an alimony motivation. It was like, no,
Yeah.
she's gets her claws out. She's a thing. She's
Yeah.
drunk all the time. You've been here
Yeah.
several times. You probably heard about them.
There are reasons that he did not cross him.
Anyhow.
Yeah. Jay Frazier says, I doubt George could have expanded his chest fully. I don't think so. It's too tight. He couldn't get, and it sounds like in between video 1 and video 2, like he's getting less oxygen, right? I don't think he could be fully oxygenated.
Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Hello.
He can't hear you. I got my ear in it.
Oh,
But like,
sorry.
oh my God. No, it's okay. Yeah, but it just is, it's cruel. All the way around. And she hears him begging, and then she's like, shut the F up then. Like, you know he can't breathe when you're saying that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're talking, the same thing with George Floyd, same year. Oh, he was talking. Yeah, that doesn't mean you're fully oxygenated. There's a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can go in
And there's
get-
talking and there's talking.
Right.
Right.
A full conversation. Right.
Babe, I can't breathe. And I
and
can't
when you go
breathe
in
is
for
not
an
talking.
exam and they do your oxygen levels, it can be too low, even with you just sitting, normally. So
I mean, if what you're saying when you're talking is I can't breathe, that's not just talking.
Right.
That's the last thing you're going to say ever.
Right.
Right.
You're not whistling Dixie. You're not
Right.
reciting
You're not
the
mentioning that in
Declaration.
passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so obvious that she did some kind of assault to him prior to him getting in the suitcase.
Absolutely.
So the whole narrative of he just got in the suitcase, we both thought it was funny.
Yeah.
No. He wanted out. I think he was, if he fell down the stairs in that suitcase, he might have had a concussion, been passed out for a time, and then woke up calling her name because he woke up in the dark, not knowing what was going on.
What do we
Like coming down the stairs?
Yeah. And then he might have passed out for a brief time, from the fall, and then woke up saying, hey, like calling her name and telling her he can't breathe when he came to.
Yeah. I wonder if she thought he was dead. One last thing about the autopsy that I want to mention before we move on or whenever we move on, is that ring was not with him. There was no mention of a ring. His belongings were his belt.
Oh, you're right.
Nothing else.
Mhm.
I thought he
Very
wore
good
an earring,
point.
but that there was no earring mentioned. So, I mean, this was all of his belongings, right?
Right.
Everything that was on him when they got him.
And the contents. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that she mentioned that ring to try to prove something. I don't know what, but
Or to see if she could get the police to make the Torres family give it back to her because she bought it and gave it as a gift. And
But I
when you
think
give
she had
someone
it.
something as a gift,
I think
you
she
can't
had
just
it.
take it back.
I think it was in her house, would be my guess. But maybe that's also possible.
That's a really good point, Suma. Nobody mentioned
Yeah.
the ring in the autopsy. That's a very good point.
Yeah. I was looking, they also didn't mention stomach contents. I don't know if that's only on TV. Because I was like, when is the last time they eat?
Yeah, well, I think that's why they kept asking her during that. That's why Mr. J kept saying to her, do you remember what you had for breakfast? Do you remember what you had for lunch? Because my guess is he was asking that because they didn't eat.
It does mention it actually on page 6 of the autopsy. It says gastrointestinal tract.
Okay.
It says the esophagus is lined by smooth gray-white mucosa with no lesions. The gastric mucosa has the usual rugal folds. The stomach lumen contains a measured 100 ml of tan red purple fluid with no identifiable food particles. So just liquid in her stomach.
There you
No
go.
food.
I mean, and I knew that had to be the case because there was a reason he kept mentioning that, asking her, and the way she answered, she knew, this may have been, I don't know if it was like a particular issue within the I don't know what, but it was an issue for sure.
With him eating. Well, she
Yeah.
also had a food stamp card. So if that was in her name because, she had a child and she could claim,
Yeah.
all she had was $1,000 a month alimony that was like able to be traced to her or her unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
She had a food stamp card. So she was in control of that food stamp
Mhm.
card. If it was in her name, she would have weaponized that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I just think it was one way of her abusing him,
Yeah. Because she liked to be in control. And
Yeah,
earlier
she's
we were
Shonda
talking about
Vander
the
Ark, really.
Yes.
Like that
And
kind of
earlier we were
abuse.
talking about if we think they were really cleaning. And I do think that Sarah made them do some kind of chores because that was another way she could control and say, we're not going to go to Publix until these chores are done, just to, treat him like a child.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's the one who wanted to clean up a little bit. She just took it on as her own because.
Yeah.
Hey, Ace. So Ace is saying she called his name 18. George called Sarah's name 18 times. I think you sent her a letter about that, right? If I remember correctly.
What a cute doggy Ace has.
Very cute.
Yeah.
18 times is wild for you to ignore
Yeah.
someone.
She loved it.
She did.
She had complete control. I mean, I do believe the one thing she was honest about in her testimony was that she hit his hand with the bat when he was trying to get out. She
Yeah.
had the bat. He was trying to get out. He may have been able to get part of his hand or fingers out, and she did hit it with the bat. I believe that she did that.
I don't
And
know if it was
then I
out, but I'm
believe,
sure she hit it. Yeah. Maybe.
and then I believe she zipped it the rest of the way shut so he could not get out.
Right. Yeah. And that, if that's the case, because she had to answer to the bruising on his fingers. I mean, there was a lot more bruising that she didn't address, but I guess the bruising on his fingers must have been so, maybe they decided to work something in there. But if that's the case, then because there have been like theories that maybe, and I also believe this is possible, she thought he was dead and she put him in the suitcase, only to discover later that he was not. I don't know. But if that's the case, then, well, it's also possible she opened it up again. Who knows? But yeah, she must have hit his knuckles at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why would he willingly get in there? And she says it on the 911 call. I put him in the suitcase.
That is the first thing she said. Yes, I put him in a suitcase. And he had to fold in half to get in it. It wasn't just, laying down in a box or something flat. He had to fold in half.
But then in the interrogation, she says, no, George got in a suitcase.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
even though she told
did.
the 911 operator that she put him in.
Exactly. She was very conflicting back and forth on that.
Yeah,
on the stand, she said he got in and the little flap was going.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that she fell actually hit the bed, or do you think she passed out on that couch?
Couch.
Me too.
I think she passed out on the couch, but I do think eventually she woke up and went and got in bed. I think she woke up in bed and was like, what's going on?
She focused on the bed too much for me. I thought it was a lie. I just went hit the bed type of thing. I think she passed out right there with her phone in her hand.
She screwed herself with two of her lies that she thought were going to make her look better. The half a bottle of wine, because she knew that one bottle, first of all, to call that a bottle is pushing it, because it was
right. They were magnums.
It's a jug, like
it's practically a box.
Yeah, I mean that thing should have a handle or two, but okay. the half bottle because they found the receipts for 2, which meant that they knew they bought 2, that they had 2 bottles that day. So
Mhm.
now she's messed up because, and she doesn't mention the fact that they didn't find a 3rd bottle. Okay, but now it looks as though they drank 2.5 bottles, right?
Yeah.
She got busted on that. And that hit the bed thing because I think she thought she didn't want it to look like she just passed out like some kind of drunk.
But
You know,
she
she wouldn't
did.
she's a lady. She wouldn't just pass out drunk on the couch. Of course she did. I'm sure or the floor, who knows? But she wanted it to make it sound like it was an intentional that she walked upstairs and took to her boudoir.
And Ace is right again. At trial, she couldn't even get the suitcase open. She
Right.
tried to get upset at Mr. J, like, there was a safety pin, or
Yeah,
there
it
was
wasn't
such
this
and
hard
such.
last time. And when they first bring out the suitcase and Mr. Owens goes, "Oh, it's pretty big."
Right, like it was a
No.
first class seat.
Well, hop on in, good old boy. Let's see.
Like, well, why do you hop on in? You think it looked so big?
I think too, because the bottles, right? So there was 2.5. She's like, well, there was a half. They threw out the empty bottle before they took their drunk selves over to Publix.
Right.
And she had called Brian like maybe 10 minutes before 12, maybe not that many. And then they're at Publix to ask for money. Then they're at Publix on camera at like 12:15, spending Brian's money.
Exactly, which is another reason I don't think that Sarah was so concerned about money because she got plenty of money, plenty extra money from Brian whenever she asked for it. Because who's going to fight that fight? I don't personally don't think she was that concerned about George as a money provider.
No.
Right? Like, I know people seem to think that, and I get why, but I don't think Sarah's that money focused, really. Now she's a little more so because, but it's more of a control thing, even still, probably. But I think that she really didn't need George's money. He didn't make
Well, she needed it to keep the apartment because she wouldn't qualify on paper, whether she needed it in her
was already
pocket or
in that
not.
lease. They usually don't revisit it from what I know.
Right. But if he actually left her, what you think Brian would have just covered the shortage on the rent?
Yeah. Okay. I think even if he didn't leave her, but he wasn't working, Brian would have covered it. He said in the street interview on scene, basically they're living off of the money I give her,
Right. But I think he was under that impression because of what Sarah was saying, right? Like he only works part-time, all the other I think part of it was just a lie. And I also think George was in a more dangerous position because he wasn't working those 2 weeks. She had all day to harass him, or before she would just be calling his job. But she didn't have to call now. He was there. He was trapped.
And showing up if she's not too lazy. Yeah. And I don't think she even knows this, but I don't think she was never going to let him work again. He was never going to get out again, I don't think. Because imagine she's going to let him go someplace where there could be women or anyone or a phone. No.
Oh, that's probably why she was so close to his parole officer and
especially because that parole officer was a woman. So I'm sure they talked on the phone for 42 minutes, but Sarah was the one doing all the talking.
And a narcissist wants to appear very caring and involved, when in reality it's control.
I helped him. I made him a better person.
Can someone explain to me, I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him? What does that mean?
No, wait, nothing. But I don't even know what she...
Not because you have a warrant for your almost murder.
Yeah.
Help him leave this planet? Is that what she meant?
Yeah, I'm here because I'm still trying to help him. I guess just trying to get to the bottom of this. What this caper, solve this caper of what cause was. Yeah, other than this. And also at that point, Chelsea's like, yeah, but
Ace is talking about his PO. I don't believe that for a minute she was not on the phone with for 42. And she says she and I were both talking about how I helped him. No, you were talking about how you helped him.
We both she was trying to. She is
right. She was trying to get off the phone, ma'am. Right?
She's like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, no, that I mean, I was hoping that they were going to bring that probation officer up to the. Because
there was an issue with that. There was an issue with that before trial where I don't remember whose motion it was, but I feel like there was a dispute between Owens and the prosecutor about
Melissa?
requiring state employees to testify
Oh,
about private information. So that would have applied to a parole officer or a caseworker. There was some kind of a motion though where I think the state was saying no, they can't make these people testify because they're protected, almost like attorney-client privilege, but with social work or whatever state employee they were trying to obtain. It didn't specify who,
yeah.
but there was something about that. So they may have tried to call them,
Yeah.
but for some reason they were protected from testifying.
Yeah, because they did a blanket subpoena of like so many people, and the judge was like, "This is overreach."
Mm-hmm.
Who did, the defense or the?
Owens, because he was like asking custodian of records, a lot of state employees, and like it would, they would be on the clock, on the dole, and having to come, and it was like there are other people who can get this to you.
I don't think it would have. I mean, it would not have helped them anyway. I have a feeling au contraire, but that's why I would have liked to have seen that, even if it was the defense calling.
Yeah,
right.
I
It
mean,
would have been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they got that poor Pearl Walker up there.
that was so gross, and I was like, has she even seen the evidence, ma'am? Go home.
Yeah, and then when,
Yeah, she was confused. I mean, I Sarah wanted all these people and none of them would come. She was the only one willing to come. And I don't think she really fully understood the whole situation.
definitely Amy.
She reminded me of that witness in My Cousin Vinny. Like, could you see through the screen and you were making grits, and how thick are your glasses? Like, ma'am, what?
Yeah. And when Kevin Beck asked if Sarah got uppity with her, I was like, okay, we can bang the gong, get the hook. It's
Get
enough.
off the stage, yeah. Amy Lou, and her leg got infected because she has horrible hygiene. She kept calling it a wound. Like, when does it become a scar?
Yeah, exactly. Especially, I think about George all the time, especially when I see my stab wound.
Now, when she said she had to have multiple surgeries because of how bad it got infected, they may have had to remove tissue, and that's why there's now a hole in her leg because of how bad the infection. They probably had to remove some of that tissue.
Mm-hmm.
So it may not have originally been that deep from the quote unquote stab wound.
You would probably know more about this than I do, but I know a little bit about it. And Mr. J did mention that what she had was cellulitis, which sounds
is an infection in the skin,
right?
And inflammation. So if she may have had a small cut, got some stitches. She didn't clean it. It got infected. She had to go in. They're like, okay, we're gonna have to cut this out.
From what I understand, it can eat away at the skin, kind of.
Yeah, and it could have gotten, if there was any kind of like dead tissue, they would have to remove it so it doesn't continue spreading,
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a bad apple in the bag of apples, it's going to keep spreading to the other apples. You got to remove that apple. So they've got to get all that dead tissue out. So they would have had to dig into her leg. And that happened to my brother. He had gotten a spider bite that got infected. And he had a hole in his leg because of the infection they had to cut out of his leg. So that to me makes sense.
I saw that before with someone. Yeah.
Where it's kind of like a dimple almost.
Yeah. To my understanding, cellulitis is not easy to get either. But,
well, I mean, if she had an open wound with stitches and she didn't clean it or whatever.
Right. But I mean, that's what I mean by not easy to get. Like you have to be pretty. It's like, I think it's seen a lot in, people who are unhoused and.
Right. Well, don't forget she was rolling around on that carpet.
Yeah, and peeing on that carpet and sleeping on that carpet.
Yes, absolutely.
And other people's porches. So.
Oh dear God. Yeah. I just don't know why no one corrected her. Like she was in jail at that point for 4 years. If it's a wound for 4 years, how is your leg still attached to you?
I just think it's so ridiculous. She's so disgusting.
And that's why she's saying, "Oh, this scar is my stab wound," because initially, you know, it
She
may
said it
have
was,
been from a knife, but the wound is really from
but it
infection,
wasn't
and she
from a
even
knife.
admitted that.
Yeah, but it also wasn't from a knife. Remember, it was from a glass that broke.
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, Gail Marie says, I think she fell on a broken bottle and lacerated her
Yeah,
leg, but
that's what.
no, did not almost
No,
bleed to death.
that's
Yeah, running up and
they
down the
came up with that
stairs.
story. They came up with that story to make the hide and seek look less ridiculous, which just made it look more ridiculous. To show that she makes up games.
Right.
Hide
What
her
adult plays
youth.
hide and seek? Like, I just don't
No,
understand.
that's not how it's played. I mean, that's
You're
I
it.
mean, maybe at work, so you can
yeah.
no one can find you, but
I mean, I said it before, I'll say it again, but if Sarah went up, stood in that tub long enough, he would have packed his shit and been gone out, but gone, not climbing into the suitcase.
In a heartbeat, I think so too. I mean, think of the control she had. He didn't have his phone. I mean, there was a phone found in the suitcase, but she's watching that like a hawk. Oh, the other thing, like, how is he watching porn on the phone if he always has to get permission to use the phone? I just feel like she'd be hovering.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah.
That's why Mr. J asked if it was her watching porn on the phone.
Right.
Because it was.
Of course
She
it
was so
was.
gagged when he asked her that.
That's
She didn't know
cheating,
what to
Suma.
say.
Yeah, I
She
suppose
didn't
if I
know
was looking
what
up
to
what he
say.
was looking at.
And what did she say she was checking? But it's like you're going to, I said, Pornhub.
Yeah. All right.
What are you checking?
His categories.
She wants to see what he's looking at. He's because that's cheating, Tanika.
Oh, silly me.
Hello. I mean, she's just looking at all the people he's cheating on her with.
So he says SB is 100% transactional in all her relationships. Oh, we're witnessing that now. Transaction could be her wanting attention, wanting alcohol, wanting praise to stroke her ego, wanting money to support her daily living expenses.
Yes, right. Even her with her child is transactional, and it's all about her and her needs. She never feels bad. Can you imagine? I mean, to never that's all I would think about, but she never says anything like, I feel so badly, I put him in this position, I'm missing his whole life while I sit here wasting time, and seeing to it that I never see him again, basically. Like, she never feels badly about any of that. Not at all. It's he should feel bad because of the position she's in.
Read it. No remorse.
Right. The one time she even began to show remorse was when the detective asked her about George being gone, and she said, I thought about that.
I thought about that.
I
I
considered
thought
that.
about that.
Like, that's a possibility. No, you're the reason.
Yeah.
It is the reason. You.
Wait, what was it that you were just saying? What were you
In the
referring to?
interrogation.
Yeah, in the interrogation, he said,
Are you aware of the fact that you killed him, right?
right, that this caused him
Yeah.
to die, and she
Yeah.
said, I thought about that.
Yeah.
With no emotion. Like,
They
I would
took
be
it
like,
out of the
oh my
trial.
God. Yeah.
They took that out of the trial.
And then when he went on to say, I'm sure his children, feel bad about this, and she's like, well, are you trying to make me feel worse?
Yeah.
Like, she
His
immediately
daughters
attacked
too.
him. Yeah,
Chelsea
it
walked
just,
in at the right time because it was about to get awkward.
oh yeah.
Scott was like, "What?" Like, he was like, "What?" He couldn't even believe she said that.
Yes. He was like, I mean, anytime you try to hold a mirror up to her, she gets very nasty and says her most stupid things.
And my favorite part was at the end when she started to get a little snarky to read her list because she thought she was going to be leaving. She's like, "You all don't know me, that's why." And she started folding up her paper and she was like getting ready to leave, but there were
Yeah.
other plans. So I can call you, right? Chelsea's like, "Yep, I have an open line."
Yeah. Y'all don't know me, folding up her little shit and putting it back in her. Just
Her,
so embarrassing.
her satchel.
What does that even have to do anything? Even if I know you, even if I don't know you, I know that you left a man in a suitcase and taunted him as he begged for his life. That's all I
Right.
need to know.
They don't know you.
Right.
They don't know if you would do this or not. But given what what you've done since the moments before they met you, and since then, they're going to lean toward,
Now hold
They
on,
know you're
everybody.
trying your
One
time.
obscure incident does not define her
yeah,
entire
isolated
existence.
and obscure, isolated.
Oh my god. Yeah, the snuff film. The whole snuff film is all I need to know.
Right.
And isolated, someone had that I pulled it up earlier, like isolated incident or it's like going to a job interview with different color shoes. It's not
Right. That's an unfortunate incident. Isolated.
right. One navy, one black. Like yeah,
Right.
that's unfortunate.
Oops.
Oh, nonetheless, I have to live without him, and that's punishment enough.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got something for you, honey. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll decide what's punishment enough. Okay.
It's almost like she was trying to project. That's punishment enough, so there's nothing else we need to do here.
Know that. I'm leaving it at that. See you around.
Right. On the next one.
Publix if you need me. I'll be at Muldoon's should anyone be looking for me, and don't look for me.
Trying to grab her a new man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and that was not going to
Run.
go well. And that's when I think her son would have been the next focus, and that would have not ended well either. But
Chelsea's bored indifference. Oh, I skipped this other one. So since sliced bread was clarifying for all of us, Sarah cut her leg on a glass tabletop on her back porch. Melissa Sexton, her property manager, verified this.
Oh, I thought it was a broken glass, but that makes just the same thing. Yeah. Yes.
And then Chelsea's bored indifference to Sarah's melodramatics was absolutely chef's kiss. Yeah, the more hyped, because Sarah, I felt like, because I know a few melodramatic people, she kept getting more amped up trying to get a reaction out of Chelsea.
Crazy.
It was. Oh my god.
I think Chelsea was my favorite character in the Sarah Boone saga.
Me too. I don't know. I feel like it's a tie because I love the way Scott just couldn't let it go. Like he wanted to ask all the questions that we want.
Yes.
We would have. We would have. That's the way we would have been. Not like whatever. Screw you. And I'm sure he knew, but he just couldn't. He couldn't wrap his mind around what he was seeing and hearing here.
Some of the best moments were when Chelsea left the room and it was just Sarah and Scott together.
Yes.
Oh yes.
I wish he would have I wish Chelsea wouldn't have interrupted when Scott was like, give him a few moments for what?
Me too.
She had a really bad habit of not just cutting Sarah off, but she finishes sentences. I know some people like that, like as you're I'm guilty of it too. She kind of finishes the sentence for people. It's like, oh, how was your day? Oh, it was a good day? Yeah, it was a good day. So when you finish someone's sentence, they kind of just say what you say, and that's what Sarah did in the interrogation.
Yes.
She just finished her sentences for her, and Sarah just went along with what Chelsea said. Like,
all the cops who showed up and told her story for her because she wasn't saying. Did he hit you with an open fist? With yes.
Right.
But they wouldn't have gotten that was the moment that bothered me too when he was like 5 minutes for what? Like, were you punishing him? But the truth is she would not, had she not been interrupted, she would have immediately, she'd be like, here's the thing, is the suitcase was all the way the back of the closet. She would have completely switched it around until you don't remember what the question was.
And he said, where did this game end?
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't get it. Where did this game end?
Yeah.
I hate to see what a bad day looks like. And she was like,
oh, she was so,
what about,
horrified.
yes, when he said about his children, she was like, are you trying to make it worse?
Yeah.
Like, ma'am.
I know. That just, I mean.
What made her stand up? And when he was like, sit down, please. What made her stand up?
I think she was trying to gain control. Like, she likes to dominate people. They're seated. She's standing up like, you guys.
Yes,
like she's trying to command the room.
But what was said?
I can't remember. Yes, there was something and she was done. She got up and she was like, he's like, sit down, please. Like,
yeah.
And I don't remember what Chelsea did at that point, but Scott was definitely, he was so ready to cuff her at that point. That the end was it was just a delicious delight for me when she's like, why is this happening? What? And he's like, because George is dead.
I'm so glad he got that in just for his own well-being.
Yes.
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 It was
And ours.
satisfying to hear. Yeah.
Yes. Because, to me, Scott seemed like the more senior officer, but Chelsea was the lead. So he did a great job at letting Chelsea do her thing, and she led. Also, the tape really was the tape was the case, the tape it was the case. So
The
Chelsea didn't
snuff
have a
film.
yes,
Yeah.
she didn't really have a hard she didn't even really need a confession.
No,
It was just, it was there on the tape. But Scott, he did a good
absolutely.
job just sitting back. But whenever Chelsea left, he kicked it up a notch.
Yes,
Mhm.
And I appreciated that because we got
me
some good
too.
stuff out of Sarah when he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
They're
I
was
very
more
nice.
seasoned. Like you heard when Chelsea, I don't know if you remember when Chelsea explained with that group of people, their boss told them to rotate the lead. So it wasn't the
yes.
same person all the time. So it was her
Mhm.
rotation. But I can't remember exactly, but she'd only been like 1 or 2 years in homicide.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I mean, I think they both knew to an extent, but she saw that there's first of all, also she was pregnant and was patient zero for COVID.
Yes.
Just over
Yes.
it.
For COVID. Oh
So,
my God. Yes.
Yes.
but she
And
knew that nothing was
coughing.
going to come of this. She was just done. And I don't know if you saw, I did a video on it once, but I could find the original one. She did, it might be something fun for us to watch actually, an interrogation of a young woman who killed her sister.
I
But
saw that.
yeah,
I
and
saw
she was
that.
completely different with that young woman. She was so kind and patient, and she didn't interrupt her. She was encouraging. She was a completely different person.
They do a lot
And
of mirror neurons. They do a lot of mirroring, right? So I think that young lady was a lot more demure, you too, that she
yeah, she was
interrogated,
honest.
but
I
she
mean,
was also a killerer,
right,
a
she was a killer,
cold-blooded
but she was
one.
troubled. She was,
Didn't she kill like her sister in cold
yeah,
blood?
Mm.
yes,
Which office manager? Oh, Melissa. Melissa was hiding because she had been lying about George being kicked off the lease. I've shown that in other videos. They had just signed a new lease the month before, so he was never off. She would have to, they told him that, and he believed it.
yeah,
And even Mr. J was going to press Sarah about it, but she was like, he was never put off. So she admitted that, and she was like, he was a different type of tenant, but he was never removed from the lease. But Melissa showed up. If you go back and listen to Dr. Harper's testimony, she interviewed with Dr. Harper for her evaluation. So she
yeah,
wasn't like off the face of the planet.
yeah,
She just wasn't coming to court.
yeah,
Oh, recently, I believe this week we did some coverage on a call, and Abraham he came up. Abraham, the maintenance man.
yeah,
Oh,
Melissa was I never noticed until when we did this episode. You hear something different every time.
yes,
Melissa was in the back of Abraham's interview, kind of coaching him. When Chelsea said, was there anything, have you been there lately? And he said the air conditioner was broke. I went to fix the AC. And she's like, "What was wrong with the door? There was something wrong with the
yeah,
door." They
yes,
had just had a fight or something, and the door had a hole in it. And Abraham said, "Oh no, I didn't know that." And Melissa's in the back, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that just happened. It just happened, right? It
oh, I
just
didn't
happened."
hear that.
oh, me
Mm-hmm.
either. Okay.
Melissa,
We
she
got to
was
listen to
in the
that again.
back, so she was there when Abraham was being interviewed, and she was kind of on Team Sarah at that time.
Kind of, although she didn't really have much nice to say about her. I feel like there are some text between them that you can see if you go into what was shown on the screen during the trial, and Melissa was pretty done with her, I think.
She was asking her, she's like, "What was he doing there? I thought you
Yeah,
couldn't
why was he
tell."
here?
And Sarah didn't respond.
Yeah,
Right.
of
Her
course not.
brother was also texting her at that
Yeah,
time
are
too.
you
He was
alive?
like, "Are you alive? Hey." Like, "Hey, are you alive?" And he messaged her that a few times, and she would just ignore him.
Yeah, he asked her that because she had a few days prioristically started texting him and saying, I'm kicking him out, and he did this and he did that, and so days passed, and he figured I can just imagine. Can you,
Oh,
he
shoot.
was like, I should check in on her. I'm sure she's
Okay. And
fine.
then no, she's very well alive. It's
Yeah,
George who isn't alive.
yeah.
Mm.
Her brother
And
actually hasn't.
now
Have we seen anything from her brother recently?
I was about to say, and now she's the one getting ignored and
Yeah,
harassing her brother, and he's
and Brian.
And
MIA.
Now
him
Brian's
and
not answering
Brian.
her calls, and she has not seen the what comes around goes around of it all.
Right.
I always wonder though why Brian and Philip aren't closer for little man's sake. Like I've always thought like they both seem like some well-rounded gentlemen. Why can't they kind of form a relationship? Maybe Philip could take little man for a visit. He could see his sister. You know, I just always wonder why they weren't close, he and Brian.
Yeah.
Right. And they said at the family hearing that Philip hasn't not been involved because
Well,
they were asking, like, could he be a
yeah.
supportive family member for Sarah on the outside?
My guess would be that Philip and Brian have nothing against each other, but at one point Philip writes to Sarah and he's like, I think his partner or whatever, Kayla or whatever her name is, you know, knows a lot. Like I haven't been close to our side of the family or our family. We haven't been close to our family for a while, and Kayla knows that and knows why. He implied or intimated that there were things going on there that Kayla knew about, and obviously Sarah knew about. You know, my guess
Right.
it was that Sarah probably wanted to borrow money from him at some point, or called him drunk all the time, or you know.
Oh,
And
she
the
was
fact that she
assistant.
thought he would sign her bond work, like, he doesn't want you in the house with with his
Mhm.
wife or
Never
Oh,
asked.
he
girlfriend.
even
Like,
mentioned that he had to talk to his wife about it first. He said, I'd have to talk to my wife first, you know, we'll have
Yeah.
he mentioned that. And I'm pretty sure she's that, you know, we all have that relative, you
Yeah.
know, it could be a parent, a sister, a sibling, a cousin. You have that relative that you may be embarrassed about.
right.
Yeah, or who's got some issues and is always trying to get money from you or lying to you or just
Oh
Oh
my
my
goodness.
God.
In this case, Philip has both of his siblings are that.
yeah. Yeah.
He
Mhm.
reminds me of what is it, Ben from the Adelson family. He's like the one
Oh,
good
there you
son.
go.
And
Yeah.
There
then
you go.
the daughter and the other brother are no good.
There you go,
Yeah.
Tamika. There you
And
The
he's
one
go.
keeping
that
his distance for good reason.
There you
Yes.
go.
Like
the
Marilyn
one
from the
that's
Monsters.
stable and holding everybody together.
Absolutely. Good
Yeah.
one. Good one.
Yeah. Poor thing. So he probably has a strained relationship with the son, with his nephew because of that, you
Yeah,
know?
they're just not close. You know, they maybe never built that because Sarah was never bringing her son around anyone. I mean, she was not,
Right. She could barely pick him up from school.
yeah. Even in his younger years, though, like he probably went to the christening and they were busy doing their own thing.
Right.
He doesn't have kids, I don't think. So, I mean, I know, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, yeah.
So that also changes things, you know?
Right.
It's not
And
like they both
clearly,
have
like,
kids.
she makes up stuff because now it's coming out like he was having surgery around the time of her trial. But at the trial, she boldly told the judge that he was deployed. Like, you can't be doing both.
No.
Right.
I know that he said something about having something, I don't know, but
Okay.
I
But
also
he was still sending her like $20, $50, or he wasn't sending her like 200 because why would she need that?
right.
But
And
she wasn't even grateful for that.
no, of
No.
course not. I mean, he sent her something, she immediately returned it.
Oh, yeah.
She
And
always wants more. Nothing's
something
ever good
different, and
enough.
there's always work involved for the other person, not her.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
doesn't want
Yeah.
it. She returned it. Now she's going to sit and wait for what she wants when it better be what she wants.
Not only that, she's not gonna sit and wait. She's gonna harass you.
Harass. And there's like several steps to get through to that. But it's not just she returned it and now you can know. You have to call the thing and you have to get the credit and you have to, you know.
Here's the
Yeah.
tracking number. Look it up. Tell me
Right.
where it is.
Yes.
Right. Oh my God.
I could totally see in my mind like if she needed a handle, she could say like, George, let's go. Walk down the street to Brian's house. Tell George to just hang out on the porch real quick. She goes in and gets the money and goes out. Let's go to Publix. Like Brian, even if he didn't answer her phone, she would probably go to his house and knock on the door.
Right.
Like I'm pretty sure he couldn't escape her.
There is no peace from her.
No,
No.
like, and that's why she's so frustrated now. She can't believe he doesn't answer. 5 years, she can't believe it.
Yeah.
Well, and she's crazy that she thinks he should be paying for the phone calls and all the other, like, it's just, she's not grateful for anything. He was giving her money. She said it was voluntary, but then you have all of these text messages where she's sending him like, commissary is tomorrow. Commissary is tomorrow. That doesn't sound voluntary if you're demanding that he send
No.
you money.
And I could
The
be
phone
wrong.
calls are the biggest thing to me. Like, is there a stipulation? Does she expect him to pay for them until little man turns 18 and he picks up the slack? Or like
He's been doing it voluntarily. I think the judge is going to set her straight because she can pay for those calls.
Judge Jackson, where are you? Because she's
Yeah.
even now, if we like when we saw the recent Delicious Delights that she got, she could have taken $20 or $13 out and put for phone privileges, and
Yeah.
as a mom and call your child yourself. She shouldn't put it on anyone, let's even not even former husband. But if you're a mom and you're in a situation where you can't talk to your child, but you're getting money, why put that on someone else when you can
Like,
just say, hey, Judge Jackson, I'll have $20 a week. Can I call my son as many times as the $20 allows? Or I have $5. Can I call? But right now, even on the recent call, she's like, I call right now, Brian only puts 45 cents a minute or 13 cents on the call so I can call. And P's like, well, how much do you usually call? She's like, as many times as I want. So Brian has let her call unlimited for the last 5 years, and he just put his foot down.
Right.
right. I mean, even that woman who classified, who you cover, that woman who's the baby mama of Ken,
Yes.
she uses her money to call her child, right?
Correct. He does not. He said he paid for 2 video
He's a
visits just
horrible person.
because she could not set up the video visits for some reason. He set those up, but he said all the calls she pays for them, and if she doesn't, then she doesn't call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Sarah on one of those calls was like wanted to watch a movie, so that she couldn't
Yeah.
even pay for what she needed to pay for. Like she didn't want to make the decision between food and a movie, so she's asking for more money. So
Yeah,
her
she's not
son is
giving
not
it
even a factor. She expects that that's Brian's job to fund those calls. And 45 cents, she can talk for a couple minutes. It's 13.5 cents a minute.
And
Say what you
Yeah.
got to say and hang up.
Yeah, it's not just calls. Those calls are to get money, basically. Like that's her telemarketing. That's not
Right.
talking to her
I
son.
have a unsubstantiated theory though that she was still on Brian's phone plan before she got incarcerated because
Yes.
she could not have paid a phone bill. That
No.
George's phone wasn't in service. She was the only one that had a phone in service, and I think it was because it was on Brian's plan still.
Yeah, and
I
it
think
says
so.
so in the text. It's like, I don't know if it says Brian Boone or if it says, but there's something that makes it obvious that she's on someone else's plan. Owner,
I think I think that was when the prosecutor put up some of her phone records that
yes.
they had to clarify that.
Yeah.
So I think that's why she expects it, because she's always been on his phone plan. He's always paid for all of her calls. Even after they got divorced, she just stayed on his phone plan, I think.
Right. I wonder if it occurred to the documentarian at the time where she says he always pays for it, that in fact he's not alienating her from her son. He's facilitating financially that relationship.
Right. It's actually the opposite.
How do they
Absolutely.
documents that he's alienating her from her child?
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, he's pushed for that relationship.
And honestly, when I got divorced, the phone plan was in my name, and I had to go through a lot to get him off of it. He went through a long time where he wouldn't sign whatever form. They would email him a form to sign to set up, move his number onto his own account, and he would just refuse to sign it. And I finally got an agent that just kind of helped me work my way around it. I don't think they were supposed to, but he was going to refuse. So if she never agreed, set up her own account, the only thing he could do is cut it off. He couldn't, he was probably just waiting for her to take some responsibility, but
yeah. I mean, I think he was just starting to see the writing on the wall, because I mean, don't forget, he knew her as a completely different person for a long time. So
right.
I mean, I don't know,
He
completely
probably
different.
watched her deteriorate and felt bad because,
And I'm
she
sure
wasn't
in
always that way.
looking back, there were signs and traits of hers that it's like, okay, yeah. So she went with that direction, not the other direction, but.
Well, looking at all the photos like that Danny shows when she was with Brian, she looks healthier. She looks happier. At least, I mean, I know most people
Normal
smile in a
Karen.
photo, but she didn't have that crazy eye look,
Yeah. No. Yeah. She looked like your average mom on Facebook.
Right. With the dogs and the kid and the.
Yeah.
She was definitely spiraling in her alcoholism, and that was also her denial was a big part of that
Yes.
interrogation. Well, I wasn't drunk. I didn't pass out. I'm not, she didn't want to be confronted with it.
Even on the stand, she didn't, and she knew she had
Right.
to. She did. They must have really talked through that because, and he would say to her, "And you were drinking too." Yes.
Right.
And she didn't want to admit it.
Yeah, and if one or two times she didn't. She said, "No, I was."
And even accused George of forcing her to drink in that stupid sentencing statement that she came up with.
Oh my
And
God.
urinate on herself. Like, girl, what?
I'm
You've
sure
got to
she
be
did,
kidding.
but
Not because of George, though. You know what I mean? Like, how did he make you do that?
I mean, what else are you going to blame on him?
I know
Was
how
she
much
getting
was in that
hazed into a
bottle.
frat? How do you get forced to drink, Sarah?
I
Yeah.
know how much was in that bottle. Like that's such a
Yeah.
contrast. He
That's not
forced you
Enough
to
for
something
drink
two
to you.
people to have a good
forced
time.
to drink. Yeah.
Oh my God. Who does that? That's
Only her.
like a parent monitoring their bottles on the bar. Like, I know how much is in that bottle.
Yeah.
I know. And
I
Georgia's
used to
filed.
wait tables at a place that the manager would very inconspicuously mark the bottles to see
Mhm.
if when bartenders were closing, if they were taking a little extra
Mhm.
than what
Yeah.
was sold. So I didn't know, we didn't know that she did this, but later on she told me, well, I marked those bottles
Yeah.
to see if it's disappearing quicker than it should. Because after management leaves and then one person's there closing, they
Right.
can
Yeah.
give extra shots for no
Yeah.
charge or take them themselves.
Yeah.
So
I guess it depends how many.
correct.
Right. Oh my God. I'm telling on myself. But as teenagers, my aunt and uncle had a giant bar. We would drink it and they would mark the bottles. We'd add water to get it back to the level.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another crazy strategy.
Yeah.
That
My
we're probably
parents never looked in their bar. They didn't even know it was in there. So I was lucky in that way, but I wasn't much of a drinker anyway. At that, when I was, living with them but I know a lot of my friends used to do that.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
why I don't drink anymore.
Sarah could have been marking the bottles.
She didn't have to mark them. Some things she remembers.
Plus, they weren't going to last 24 hours for her to check the next day.
There's no way. There was no bottle lying around there. As I always say that. And they did not hit the bed until all bottles were empty. And that's why I think she had to call Brian.
No.
But it's a psycho rule. We only can drink together. Like, maybe I just need to chill out before your crazy ass gets home.
Right.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, she was looking for, where was she? I want to know. Like, where was she that he was left alone for a minute?
She was in the room, sleep with the dresser against the door, remember? Really. And he was
Right.
sleeping
Where
outside
was
of
my
the door.
mind? Yeah.
Yes,
Pushed up
and he
against
was
the
outside in the bedroom,
breaking
sleeping
off
outside of the door,
door.
having it, probably enjoying the house to himself.
Yeah.
And then being an adult male, had a drink,
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
So
don't need-
Northwest has a question. If she cleaned up crime scene, why leave him in the suitcase? I think she cleaned, this is me and we'll do a round robin. She cleaned up before she realized he was still in the suitcase. She came down, or if she's still on the couch, she looks over and sees the mess. I don't think it's strange for a drunk person to wake up to a mess. Like you bump into stuff, you do whatever. So she's like picking it up, and she can't remember, like, did she call the police on George? Is that why he's not here? Like, she's thinking about it, but she's not like actively looking for him. That's my theory. Y'all go around.
Oh, I think she totally cleaned up after she found the body. I think when she got up, she, like you wake up and sometimes you don't remember what happened the night before and it starts coming back to you. And when she said, oh, he's in the suitcase, I think she went into panic mode and just started like cleaning up. She probably threw the bottles away. That's why she said they're in the trash. Like she probably threw that away, cleaned up the bookcase where she threw him down the stairs. He had to hit the bookcase, because it was just perfectly organized. The living room was clean. For them to have just had like a Sunday fun day, it should have been some mess somewhere. I think she cleaned up before. I mean, yeah, right? She cleaned up and then called Brian. Well, I think
Right.
she even heard the phone, Brian calling, and
Me too.
she's like,
Is he
okay, and
clean?
she decided to finally answer, like, and give him her story.
Yeah.
Your point about the bottles, I didn't even think about because she says that and she gestures, you'll find them in the trash. Like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
remember that? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Just like she says, like, oh, I just went upstairs and hit the bed. That's what made me think she stayed right there on the couch in front of him.
Yeah. Classy, what do you think?
I like what Danielle's saying because if her plan the whole time in calling Brian was for him to ultimately help her clean up the whole situation,
Yeah.
she would have cleaned everything else up and been like, all right, now we just have to take this suitcase out, put it in
Mm.
your car, get rid of it, whatever she thought he was going to help her do.
Yeah.
And then everything will look normal and we'll just say we don't know what happened.
Wow.
Yeah. She probably should have told him, listen, I have to bring some stuff to Salvation Army. Could you give me a ride?
Oh, good Lord.
Thank God Brian did not.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, thank God. Even if Brian would have maybe thought it was some old clothes and took it, he would have instantly been involved in her. He's already been involved. He spent more money
I
than
feel so sorry.
everyone in this case.
And the emotional cost.
Yes, and he shouldn't even
And how
be
do you explain that
attached.
to your son?
I mean, where
That's
do
the
you,
part.
as Kira
That's the main
Rodriguez said,
part.
where do you start with that?
That's the main part right there.
You know, like
Oh,
I think she
Daddy is
overtook.
me is saying she thinks that Sarah says everything 2 to 3 times to make people like remember and believe it.
Yeah,
Hey, Addie.
drive it home, fill the air with it, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, there's another like internet personality that does that. Dr. Umar Johnson, he speaks in threes. It's hilarious, like just threes at a time. And it
I
really
notice
does
people
help
doing
it
that now.
stick. It makes it stick when you hear
It
threes.
does. It does. Sarah does it constantly. And it's in a way that's odd. It
What's
sounds
your
odd.
favorite one? Always, always, always.
Yeah, they always said I'd kill him.
I love when you say that.
I mean,
And then you always say, like, if I was home alone or if I was being interrogated
dead
from my
body in my
boyfriend.
apartment.
Yeah, what do you say? What's your theory?
Last thing I'm saying to the cops when they come around asking questions about it is his parents are gonna think I did this. They
Yeah,
always said I was gonna kill him.
Right.
that was so foolish for her to say.
But
They're
she
all
thinks
gonna say I
the
did this.
victim though, right? Because
Right.
she's
She's
like,
painting a
yeah,
picture. She's so skewed that like, don't bother me. They said I was gonna do this. Okay. So this is hello, like that's mean. That's
And they're gonna come kill her, remember? That was
right.
right.
why she
Oh,
said all
every
that.
time. Every
And then we
time.
see the mother eventually is like, girl, she was not
Really?
worried about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only was she a tiny little frail woman, but she's the kindest, sweetest. She's just like her son, really. Like this
Right.
very
And how did everyone miss when he was like, okay, when Scott was telling her like, okay, whatever was to do what you want to do, or just be safe, and she's like, run. I can't remember, but she's like, run.
Yeah.
And that just
yeah.
went over everyone's head. Chelsea even missed it. I would have thought Chelsea would have clued in on that. Like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Right. She does that. It's the same when she was like, that's because I lived. Like she thinks it's like some great
Mommy.
I
ma'am,
lived
what?
to fight
Yeah.
another day. Oh, Mr. J was so upset with her on stand when she got into that mode. He was like, ma'am, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's
Oh,
like, what?
that's because I
Before
live.
we Oh my God, before we get too far, classified crime, did you finish what the cleaning and is it Suma's turn or did you have more?
Yeah, it's Suma's turn. I just
Okay.
think she was cleaning up and her last thing was gonna be, okay, we're gonna take the suitcase out when Brian gets here.
Yeah. I think she found him and then started cleaning. And I personally think that she kind of like unzipped the suitcase and looked in and did not take him out right away
Hmm.
Mm.
because Sarah doesn't like to deal with things that are like unpleasant, you know? Like, do I have to watch this?
So
Guys.
she avoided it for a little
Yeah,
while.
I think she probably finally left it open, a little hole there.
Oh.
Yeah, and cleaned up, tried to make it look like normal people live there, and called Brian and was like, George is dead.
Oh, because she's totally normal. This situation is totally below her.
I think that she
Right.
knew she couldn't get away with. I think that it's possible that she tried to move the suitcase Like she,
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past her to think of driving it over to anything, I don't know, a swamp or whatever you do over there.
How
Like,
did she get George out of there? He had to be heavy.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
like literal
yeah.
dead weight. He's 103 pounds, though. I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe
Also, a
flipping
She
body's
was
his
about
easier
the
than
same.
a brick of a suitcase, although that
Right,
Yeah,
feels, but still.
that
right.
is so sad. He was bent over, so she had to stretch him out. Was she talking to him? That's why I was hoping to maybe give her the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe she pulled him out and beat his chest and breathed in his mouth and George, like maybe I would hope she didn't just like ugh,
She,
callously just
it's that gurgle, he gurgled, that scream. When she screams, he gurgled. She did a lot of damage to herself, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
Because
so now that you guys are saying this, I think she didn't want to touch it, right? Like
Mhm.
she was calling Brian to just come take it away. Like as he always cleans up everything else. It's beneath her, it's a hassle, like it
it's
is just
unpleasant. It's like she's a little scared, she's a little nervous. This is not a great look for her. This isn't the way she wants to be portrayed.
It's interrupting her drinking and smoking
Yeah,
and her
she
day.
kind of would like to move on now, wait for this to blow over a little bit and then get back to business at hand.
Well,
Correct.
I think it was in the messages to Lana or maybe a call when she's like, "Ugh, I'm just thinking about my townhome and my car and she's just when she went to the doctor's office in prison and she just was reflecting on her life. She really missed her townhome.
Yeah.
that townhome did not miss her.
She didn't miss George
No.
or regret what she did. She really missed her Kia and her townhome.
Yeah. Guys, I will never be I'll take this. I'll take it. I will never be this. This has totally changed my life.
Yeah, you can say that again. She
Yeah.
should have caught a clue then. Chelsea was giving her clues.
I think she did. And then she got nervous.
Sub
Wait,
Rosa
giving her
says,
clues about being arrested?
Yeah, because
Oh
Chelsea
yeah.
and Scott were both like, "Oh yeah, you got that right." Basically,
Mhm.
they say something like that, or if not that, and
Yeah,
she's
she was getting more and more nervous, twitchy
yeah,
at the end,
yeah. It was
dropping
really
more hints, but she didn't want to directly ask, which is just
no,
dumb. I don't know.
yeah.
They weren't going to lie.
So avoidant of everything. That's why, like, I don't want to watch this. And that's why I think she never saw her discovery. She didn't let him out of the suitcase right away. Like, she immediately wants to get away from the unpleasantness. So
Right.
she's a huge procrastinator, so she'll do something else to avoid doing what she needs to do.
even if it makes it
Well,
worse,
what she needs to do, remember Patricia Cashman? She has all her little lists. That's what she needs. She needs to make lists to give to everyone.
she needs to
All
look
her
like
little
being
lists.
busy and telling everyone what they're not doing.
Right.
Yeah, and
And she would
delegate.
be in jail forever if it meant not dealing with the trial.
Right. And that's
Just
one of the reasons, like, in addition to her just being an ass to him, but Bankowitz withdrew because, hang on one second, the
Yeah.
family case couldn't go forward while her criminal case was pending.
right. And
Right.
she would still be being interrogated if they let her, because she was never going to ask, am I being arrested? She didn't want that answer because she didn't want the same thing as the trial. Like, she didn't want to know. She just wanted to keep going round and round and round.
Right.
But if you think about it, as long as she was still in county jail and her trial hadn't happened, she wasn't a convicted killer. Right.
Right.
So she could avoid, again, confronting herself and looking in the mirror and having a consequence for her own actions. And now it's her appeal, my pending successful appeal where I get out of here. She's just in complete denial, period.
Right.
Yes.
And I think if she had gotten that $1,000 before her criminal trial, she'd be fine to sit in jail for as long as it took. She'd be having, what did she say, living large.
Yeah.
She was fine with that.
Yeah.
I feel bad
she
for the son
avoids.
though. Like I always imagine like what was the conversation that night that she slept over, right? Because she had no remorse. So I'm sure he was conflicted and confused and she was like blaming him and probably saying negative things about George and that's not the way he remembered him, right? Because Melissa said he was the only one who spent time with the kid of the two. So it just is like that. And then during the family trial, when Brian was saying, saying that someone is accused of murder is not the same as saying that they are a murderer. And he's had to have that conversation because the son is being teased at school. He wants to, like, at 8, he wants to understand, like, why? What did mommy do?
Right.
Yeah, and they want to move because of the aforementioned teasing. And so if Sarah doesn't understand that at all, she's like, how can you move away when I'm going to move, get my Kia and live, keep, you know, and they're like, no, you are going to be on trial you're an accused murderer. Like we can't.
And she says, what does that got to do with me? I don't understand. Like, what does that got to do with me?
Right. She wanted everyone's life to be on hold as long as her trial was on hold. Absolutely. And just wait.
Which would have been forever. And Brian was right about that.
Yeah.
He waited too long. I mean, not too long, but, you know, he put up with way more than he
should. Yeah, I agree. Because then she felt entitled to it. I mean, she still obviously feels entitled to it.
Yeah, because
I don't know. I just don't know how she thought it was going to end. And whatever. I mean, I know she was teaching him a lesson. She says that repeatedly. I wanted him to squirm a bit. This is what, for everything you've done to me. I just don't know, like, did she think after that if he lived he was going to stay? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to punish him so bad so he never thinks about leaving again? Because she was pissed about something.
Right. She, in her mind, he was in a timeout to learn his lesson. You know?
Yeah. And he was going to come back and be recalcitrant. I don't know. Like, it was...
Hey, groovy Canadian. I'll see you tomorrow for Sunday Fun Day too. I have a surprise for you guys. Good night.
Ooh.
Okay, we're at 2.5 hours, so I think we'll do our wrap up. We have a part 2 where we're going to go over what his brother said, Juan said, what the what's his name, Jamco from Publix said. And then the neighbor who heard the bump of going down the stairs. You know, I was thinking as we were prepping for this too, they never, Owen's never objected to hearsay when the boyfriend's like, even my girlfriend said, blah, blah, blah. My son is turning off lights. That's hearsay. They were silent on all of that. That didn't have to come in, you know?
Yeah.
But we're going to go over that and just more info on like what exactly happened that night before the 911 call. And yeah, so if you guys have additional questions, replay crew, when you come in, we appreciate you. Drop them in the regular comments so we can see them. Also, if you're in the replay crew, I have turned on replay live chat, so if you watch it, you can turn on your chat and see what the group was talking about. But yeah, we appreciate all of you guys. I want to make sure I get all of the supers in. Bossy Tuba gifted oh god, gifted 10 summa cum loudmouth memberships. Thank you, Bossy Tuba. Congratulations to everybody who got a membership. Make sure you head over and see Suma's membership list and the videos she has waiting for you. I who see, honey, can you turn the light on?
One who sees.
Oh, one who sees. Okay. Oh, I've seen her in your chat. Okay. Or him or her. Member for 14 months. Sarah wants Brian in jail so bad. I know, with all the contempt, she wants him punished. And all he's done is help her. All he's done is support her. It pisses me off. That one. Gail Marie gives $1.99. Thank you for the super. I'm not sure if it's hard to tell because we're all sharing. Like, okay.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
Yeah, but thank you. We appreciate your support. We thank you all for being here, for giving us information. The chat always knows, like, collectively we all know, but like one of us maybe like it's this, it's that, and then someone will bring it to
I always go back and read the chat because
yeah,
funniest people in the world also.
Everybody has good information. Like I said, I learned a lot last night in Dan D's live. I think he took it down, which I wish I could say, but make sure you subscribe to
he takes his lives down a lot, which I get. Also, I did that a lot when I first started.
Okay, I didn't know, but because I was looking for it again this morning, because then I like think about things and I want to see it again. But
I wanted to see it too. I couldn't find it.
Oh, and thanks to all the Facebook folks who've joined. I see there's a thumbs up on Facebook. Thank you. You guys would have come up in the chat, but I didn't look for the little flaggy thingy. Hopefully I didn't forget. Anybody else want to do a round robin goodbye?
Bye, guys.
Thank you all for joining.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks for
See you
hanging
guys
out.
tomorrow, Sunday Fun Day. Good
Yeah,
night.
look
Yes,
forward to
check out
part 2.
Danielle's. Yes, yes. And everybody stay
Night-night.
safe. Night, night.
Night-night. Everybody
Stay
stay
warm.
warm too. Whoever is in the snow and the ice. Suma, I see you are bundled up.
You want to say
Yeah.
toodles?
Toodles.
All right, guys. Toodles.